college basketball on a Friday night in Ann Arbor, Michigan, as the Michigan Wolverines take on the TCU Horned Frogs here in Chrysler Center. Welcome, everyone. My name is Jake Singer, with you alongside Perry Mortinos. So glad to have you all along as we get you ready for Michigan basketball right here on WCBN Sports. The Wolverines are 1-1 in the Dusty May era, most recently coming off a close loss to Wake Forest in Greensboro, North Carolina last Sunday. We're still learning a lot about this team, but Michigan has some shooters on this team for sure. Perry, who should May and the Michigan Wolverines look to get the momentum going tonight as they face off against TCU?
I think one guy who we really haven't seen perform to what he's capable of and what we saw at FAU is a guy like Vlad Golden. Followed Dusty May from FAU over to Michigan, suffered a couple early fouls against Cleveland State, did a similar thing against Wake Forest. But with the small TCU lineup, nobody is over 6'8". The 7'1" center, I think, should be able to take advantage inside, potentially work in the paint a little bit, maybe get some Horned Frogs in foul trouble, or potentially pass out of double teams to get to those shooters.
I could not have said it better myself. This Michigan team has two 7-footers that'll be in the starting lineup tonight between Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf. Michigan team has brought in a lot of transfers. Golden coming from FAU in the offseason, Wolf coming from Yale, and you're completely right about that size matchup. You have a guy like Vlad Golden who can man the paint, get some rebounds, get some second chance opportunities. Danny Wolf is a 7-footer and a point guard kind of skill set as well, so expect both of those guys to definitely get some traction. Tonight, though, the Wolverines do take on the Horned Frogs in their first matchup in over 60 years. Similar to the Wolverines, TCU brought in 4 starters from the transfer portal this offseason, and all 4 are averaging over double digits through the first 3 games this year. One of those names Michigan fans know are very familiar with, and that's guard Frankie Collins, who played 1 season with Michigan before transferring to Arizona State and now finding himself here in Fort Worth, Texas. Perry, can you talk to me a little about what Michigan should expect from the transfers in the entire starting lineup from this Horned Frogs team?
Yeah, one good transfer I think is going to be impactful tonight, especially with the loss of Ernest Uday for the Horned Frogs, is a guy like Brendan Wenzel. He's going to be their tallest guy in the lineup. He's probably going to be tasked with guarding either Golden or Wolf on the outside. He's a rebounding force, right? 7 rebounds last game. He's very impactful at the line, 6 for 7 from the line this year. So he's a guy, right, that you can try and look at to get guys like Danny Wolf, guys like Vlad Golden into foul trouble, and potentially even out the size matchup for the Horned Frogs. That's going to be Wenzel's main focus tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Wenzel coming from Utah and then Wyoming. He's averaging 10 points per game this year, 6.3 rebounds per game. You also got Vashon Alette from Old Dominion. He's leading the team with 13 points per game. Frankie Collins, 11.3 points per game. Noah Reynolds from Wyoming, and then most recently at Green Bay, 11 points per game, 5.7 assists per game. And you even have, just this team is stacked with transfers. So could not have said it better myself. Both of these teams definitely completely revamped in the offseason. Before we go any further, Perry, we're going to pause for the national anthem and the Michigan band. So stick right with us as we're listening to WCBN Sports.
The colors are presented this evening by the University of Michigan Air Force ROTC, and the anthem is performed by the Long Grace Elementary School Choir.
Thank you to the local elementary school choir for giving us our rendition of the national anthem. And Perry, it's going to be a packed house here in Chrysler tonight, sold out, supposedly, at least that's what they told us. And it'll be a very interesting showing, again, between the Michigan Wolverines and the TCU Horned Frogs. So, Perry, back to what we were talking about. You know, TCU brought in 4 transfers, all averaging over double digits so far through the first 3 games. Those 3 games were all wins for TCU, beating Florida A&M, Florida Gulf Coast, and Texas State. What does Michigan need to do to stop the hot Big 12 opponent?
A hallmark of the Dusty May era this far has been Michigan playing fast, right? Pushing the ball up the floor, pushing the pace. And that's led to, you know, some good and some bad. They've taken 57 shots in each game. That's the good, right? More possessions, more shots, more likely you are to score. The bad, 16 turnovers. In each game. Danny Wolf had 6 last game, 5 the game before. That's a guy who needs to settle himself down a little bit more. Play within the system, get the ball up to the shooters. But if they can limit the turnovers, get some more shots inside. They took 33 shots from the three-point line against Wake Forest. Little too high. They only took 18 against Cleveland State. So I'm looking for them to push the pace, get some easy layups in transition, and protect the ball tonight.
Completely agree. I think the keys for the game tonight for the Michigan Wolverines definitely are out-rebounding TCU and shooting the three-point ball. 2 things that Dusty May has preached all offseason long. We've seen some struggles the last 2 games, especially the last game against Wake Forest, especially shooting the 3 later in that game. So definitely about you have the matchups with the size, the matchups with the speed, with the athleticism. Can you perform at a high level here against TCU? Before we go any further, though, we're going to present to you the starting lineups for both of the teams tonight. Starting with TCU, Brennan Wenzel, Frankie Collins, Noah Reynolds, Trezarian White, and David Punch are your 5 starters for the Horned Frogs. It's 3 guards, 2 forwards. As you said, Perry, at the top of the broadcast, starting center Ernest Uday is out with an injury tonight, so it'll be a smaller lineup for the Horned Frogs. For the Michigan Wolverines, starting lineup has been the exact same the last few games. Trey Donaldson starting at point guard. Namar Burnett starting at shooting guard. Roddy Gale Jr., the transfer from Ohio State, starting at small forward. Danny Wolf, the tall 7-foot forward, as you want to call it, from Yale, is going to be the starting power forward. And Vladislav Golden, or as we call him, Vlad, from FAU, the 7'3" center from Russia, is going to be the starting center for the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, I like the lineup tonight they got out there, right? It's the same one we've seen. Trey Donaldson, especially a very effective shooter. Roddy Gale Jr., the transfer from Ohio State, has also been effective from behind the arc. So if Vlad or, you know, Danny Wolf have trouble inside and get double teamed, which I would expect tonight with the small lineup that TCU is going with, look for those guys to get hot from deep, hopefully, and that could spell trouble for the Horned Frogs.
This will be a fun one here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, folks. A lot of new faces to continue to get to know. Packed house here in Chrysler Center. Dusty May reinvigorating a lot of hype around this Michigan basketball team, and we're really excited to have you with us here in Chrysler. The Michigan Wolverines are sporting their white uniforms tonight. That's white tops, white shorts. The TCU Horned Frogs are in their entire purple uniforms tonight. Purple tops, purple shorts, purple shoes even for starting guard Noah Reynolds. This will be a fun one here in Chrysler. Again, my name is Jake Singer. Alongside me is Perry Monsinos, and we have a fun one for you. Vladislav Golden will take the tip-off for Michigan. David Punch, filling in for the injured Ernest Uday, will take the tip-off for the Horned Frogs. Follows up, and the tip is won by Golden. Michigan Wolverines start with the basketball. Quick alley-oop to Vlad Golden, and that's off the mark. TCU taking it back the other way. Trezarian White with the ball, getting it now to Wenzel. Back top with the key to White. White being guarded by Trey Donaldson. He gets a screen. He's looking right. He now gets to Frankie Collins, the former Michigan man. Back to Wenzel. Wenzel drives inside, gives the ball up. That goes out of bounds. They're going to call it off Michigan, and it'll retain Horned Frogs possession.
Good defense by Danny Wolf, though. Way to keep his feet beneath him, not go for the shot fake, and force, stoppage of play here.
Inbound pass for Collins. Collins looking for Wenzel. He has on top of the side key. Being guarded by Roddy Gale Jr. now. Gets it inside to Punch. Quick pull-up jumper by Punch. That's off the mark. Rebound, Danny Wolf. Michigan Wolverines possession. Trey Donaldson wants to push. Roddy Gale with the ball. Driving in left side. Up and under. He goes, and it's good. Michigan 2-0 for TCU.
Way to attack there by Gale Jr. Golden set a good screen as well.
Frankie Collins has the ball now for the Horned Frogs. Looks for Wenzel. Wenzel being guarded by Donaldson. Backs up to the three-point line, shoots, and he's off the mark. Tip to Danny Wolf with the rebound. Wolf takes the ball up the court now for the Wolverines. Wolf looks for a screen. He ignores it. Now gets it inside to Namari Burnett. Up and under once again, and that's good. 4-0 Wolverines lead.
Yeah, TCU brought the double team on Wolf. Great pass to find Burnett underneath the basket.
Frankie Collins has the ball once again. See what he can do, averaging 11 points per game, but he can't do anything. A legal screen on David Punch going the other way. First foul on him. Michigan Wolverines ball.
Michigan's come out ready to play tonight. They had the just failed alley-oop to Vlad Golden on the first possession, but since then have been especially impactful in attacking the basket. Something that you should be happy about as a Michigan fan. I think really attacking the basket opens up the shots to come from behind the arc.
Malik Diallo comes in for Punch after the early foul. Trey Donaldson has the ball for the Wolverines. Transfer from Auburn, has been great so far this season. Gets to Roddy Gale Jr., now that's Namari Burnett for the three, and he 6-hits. Namari Burnett with the quick 5 points. Michigan comes out to a 7-0 early lead.
Great pass there by Gale Jr. to find Burnett. Burnett, smooth stroke.
Collins gets the ball to his teammate, White. Back out to Collins, guarded top of the key by Trey Donaldson. Now to Diallo, back to Collins, and that's another offensive foul. This time on Malik Diallo, who just came in for David Punch, going back the other way now.
Michigan very active on defense, moving their feet especially well. Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf have done a great job attacking those screens as well to force those two illegal screen fouls.
Trey Donaldson bringing the ball up the court now, guarded by Frankie Collins. Bounce pass to Roddy Gale Jr. Now back out to Danny Wolf. They're going to call a foul here, and that's going to be a 3-second violation on Vlad Golden. And so that'll go the other way, back-to-back turnovers by each team.
Temporarily halts the Wolverines' momentum there for a little bit.
Collins with the ball, looking for a screen from Diallo. He gets it, now swings it to Wenzel. He's being guarded by the taller Danny Wolf, has to pass it up. Noah Reynolds with the ball now. He's being guarded by Burnett. Kicks outside to Wenzel, 3-ball, that's good. And TCU is on the board with the Wenzel 3. 7-3 is your score.
That might be how TCU has to win this game, just out-shooting the Wolverines. 3's greater than 2. That's what basketball math says, so that might be the path for the Horned Frogs.
Golden hands it to Wolf. Back to Golden, inside to Gale. Easy 2. Actually, he misses it. Goes up for a second chance, gets his own rebound. Out to Donaldson, swings it to Wolf, and that gets stolen right away. And that's going to be a slam for Trezarian White.
I like the cut from Gale Jr. there, just an unfortunate layup miss.
Another steal by White, and back-to-back turnovers by the Wolverines brings TCU even, 7-7.
What has become a quick start for the Wolverines. They just need to settle it down a little bit, get their feet under them. Came out with the momentum, but certainly lost it all of a sudden.
7-7's your score, 16:38 left. Ball inside to Golden, tough up, and that's good on Diallo. Vlad Golden now gets himself involved. 9-7, the Wolverines lead.
Yeah, that's just the 7-1 center going against people smaller than him. That's very good basketball from Golden.
Diallo has the ball, hands it off to White. White being guarded by Namari Burnett, moves into the left, pull-up jumper, that's off. Golden gets the rebound, hands it off to Danny Wolf. Danny Wolf's now pushing the other way for the Wolverines. He looks for a screen, gives it up, goes in on Wenzel. Now he's going to in the post on Wenzel, big body, and they're going to say a travel on Danny Wolf. Danny Wolf tried taking the mismatch with the height difference, and he unfortunately traveled. And we're going to see first substitutions of the game for the Wolverines. Golden comes out. Trey Donaldson comes out. Gale comes out. In for them, Reuben Jones comes into the game with LJ Kaysen, the freshman, and Will Cheddar. So a few mismatches here, a few substitutions. Referees get themselves together. Bashan Alette also comes in the game for TCU. Transfer from Old Dominion, leading the team with 13 points per game. They're going to call a quick foul on Will Cheddar. Both he and Wenzel went to the floor. 15:59 on the clock. That means our first media timeout. Michigan Wolverines lead 9-7.
Interesting start to start this game, I would say. You know, we had 2 7-0 runs, one by either team, and the catalyst for the Horned Frogs run was turnovers, right? You had the Golden 3-second violation, and then you had Trey Donaldson with the 2 turnovers, and White had a layup and then a slam dunk. So that's how you get the team back in the game, unfortunately. You know, the Wolverines looked really, really good attacking the basket. Burnett hit the big 3 from the right wing, and now all of a sudden you have a 9-7 game, a little bit closer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've seen this team even through the first 2 games this year, they love to pass the ball. Dusty May has definitely preached that he doesn't just want 1 pass, he wants 2 passes before the team sets itself up. That being said, he still likes tempo. So his team is trying to figure out how to work quickly, but still passing the ball and giving up opportunities to get the highest percentage shot. When that happens sometimes, you saw with Trey Donaldson at the top of the key twice, 1 more pass leads to a steal, and this team is trying to figure out managing those turnovers early in games and not giving it up easily, and they're still trying to get the guy who's open, you know, along the key or inside the post.
It's always tough when you're learning a new offense, right? A lot of things to process. You just got to learn how to slow down, and that will come, I feel, as the season goes on for these Wolverines. It's only their 3rd regular season game. But something that I think goes off of what you said, May's trying to preach, you might get a good shot with 20 seconds left. You might get a better shot with 10 seconds left. If you make the extra pass, make the extra 2 passes. Maybe you find a backdoor cutter, maybe you find a wide open guy in the corner, rather than taking the first good shot that you find. And I think that's something that we're going to see from the Wolverines throughout this game.
Definitely. We've already seen an early substitution here for the Wolverines, the 4-minute mark. You have under 16 timeout. We'll see what LJ Kaysen can bring. But, Harry, LJ Kaysen's definitely been a bright spot of this team so far. One of the, you know, a true freshman. There are 3 freshmen part of this class. We've seen 2 play so far this year already. We were waiting for Justin Pippen to get healthy, but let's see what Kaysen can do. Yeah,
Kaysen's been a spark plug off the bench for them all season long. Keeps good control of the ball, right? Has been very impactful in that role. Also, his on-ball defense has been elite. Moves his feet really well. Stays in front of the defender. That's what you have to do as a guard, right? If you get beat, then there's an issue. But Kaysen hasn't done that this year. Has certainly been more impactful than Fat Brooks, who I expect we'll see in this game, though.
Definitely. Wolverines bringing in 3 guys in Dusty May's first recruiting class. Got a few signings today as well. 3 already for next year's class. But let's see what this current team can do right now as we're back underway. Frankie Collins underneath the basket for the inbound. Isaiah Manning in the game now as well for the Horned Frogs. Tre'Zavian White had the ball. Now out to Collins. Collins being guarded by LJ Kaysen. Collins moves right, pass it back out to Manning. Manning looking at what he wants to do. Now he gets it to Bashan Alette. Alette moves baseline, quick spot-up jumper. That's an air ball, and Amari Burnett comes up with the ball.
Good defense by Jones there to force a tough shot.
Reuben Jones with the ball to Kaysen. Kaysen to Burnett. Burnett looking for the screen from Golden. Now Reuben Jones has the ball once again. Jones trying to get it inside, cannot, and he gives up the ball for a second to Frankie Collins before Kaysen takes it back, and then Kaysen draws the foul on Frankie Collins.
Phenomenal job by Kaysen there to recover on the back end and then gets the foul call on top of it. Really, really nice job. Reuben Jones just wanted to go to Golden inside and then kind of went back to Kaysen, and his eyes were just read by the defender.
Collins with the foul. He'll go to the bench. Noah Reynolds comes back into the game, the Green Bay transfer. Michigan with the ball. Jones to Cheddar. Cheddar moving baseline on Manning. Manning falls down, no call though. Burnett back to Cheddar. 3-point, that's off the mark.
Good shot though from Cheddar. Right decision, good pass from Burnett as well.
White with the ball, bringing it up. He goes in on Kaysen, draws the foul. Bucket no good, but White will go to the free throw line for 2.
Nice job by White going against the inexperienced freshman a little bit. Good defense by Kaysen. Obviously, you don't want to give up a foul there. Game's kind of slowed down a little bit, though. Both teams kind of settling in after feeling each other out earlier, so we'll see what can happen here.
Tre'Zavian White at the free throw line. Makes the first. 9-8 is your score. First free throws of the game for either team. 14:57 left here in the first half. And White drills a second. Quick timeout for a substitution. 9-9. We're all tied up once again. Jace Posey comes to the game, the freshman from Houston, Texas. Kaysen with the ball. Seeing a little bit of press here from TCU. Jones trying to break the press. He's struggling with it. Kaysen gets over the line, though, with just an amount of time. Kaysen, though, quickly loses the ball to Posey. Now Reynolds runs into Posey. Little scramble. Posey baseline. Has the ball now being guarded by Cheddar, and we've all settled down here. Reynolds with the ball now top of the key, being guarded by Reuben Jones. 9-9 is the score early in this one. Reynolds moves inside. Kicks it out. Manning gets tied up with Kaysen, and finally Manning just has to throw it on Kaysen to go back out of bounds. Great defense once again by Kaysen. 7 seconds left on the shot clock.
Good defense exactly by Kaysen. Try to get the tie-up, couldn't get, but still forced the ball out of bounds. That TCU high press, right? We've seen most of the turnovers for the Wolverines this game come from the guards, come from Kaysen, come from Donaldson, come from Jones, whereas in the past it's been more of the forwards. So that's going to be something to watch as the game goes on.
3 seconds left on the shot clock. And White, I believe, travels. Sorry, that's Vashon Alette. Nonetheless, it's a turnover, Michigan basketball. Roddy Gale Jr. comes back into the game. Sam Walters also comes to the game for the first time. Outlet pass to Cheddar. That gets stolen, though. Nice steal there by David Punch. Micah Robinson comes into the game, too. A lot of moving faces here. Alette moves inside, gets fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Yeah, we've already seen 9 Wolverines touch the floor. It looks like it's going to be the 10th coming in here. I can't tell exactly who that is.
That is Justin Pippen. So Justin Pippen, the son of Scottie Pippen, is going to make his Michigan debut after the first free throw by Vashon Alette.
There you go. There's the third freshman we've been waiting to see all along. We mentioned it a little bit. We've seen LJ Kaysen. We've seen Fat Brooks. Here comes Justin Pippen. But 9 Wolverines. It's about to be 10. And we've got 10 Horned Frogs have already touched the court as well. So we've seen a lot of switch. I think both coaches, Jamie Dixon and Dusty May, just trying to get who they want in terms of matchups out on the floor right now.
Alette missed the first free throw. Here's his second attempt. And it's good. TCU takes its first lead of the game, 10-9. Pippen, Jones, Gale, Cheddar, and Sam Walters are your 5, and Jones throws it away, goes out of bounds. That's going to be off, I believe, TCU's David Punch, so Michigan retains possession.
High press still bothering the Wolverines. That's something that they're going to have to clean up this game.
Reuben Jones takes the inbound pass. Being guarded by Posey. Jones takes a screen. Sam Walters with the ball, top of the key. Trying to swing it, he cannot. Good defense by the Horned Frogs. Pippen with the ball. Pippen drives right side. He goes inside, finds Gale underneath, and Gale gets the and one. Roddy Gale Jr. with the pull-up, and he gets fouled, going back to the line for third.
Good vision by Justin Pippen there. Just the right-handed little shovel pass into Gale Jr. And I like that he didn't try and force another pass to the corner. Just go up there. You got a guy who's smaller. You got inside position. Way to draw the foul. Way to finish through contact there for the Wolverines. One thing that we saw in that possession, though, especially from the Horned Frogs, they're defending the Wolverines very high, not just on the press, but even once they cross half court. Justin Pippen was a good 6-7 steps behind the arc and still had somebody on him.
Free throw is missed by Gale, so 11-10 is your score. Punch with the rebound. Now TCU with the ball. Vashon Alette being guarded by Pippen, the freshman. He gives it up. Back to Alette. Alette moving right side. Double team by Cheddar. Nice tip there by Pippen, and Michigan gets a steal. Roddy Gale Jr. wants to push. He no-looks at Cheddar. Cheddar steps out of bounds. He tries to pass it to Reuben Jones, and that's going to be a turnover. 13-11 left here in the first half.
Yeah, just a little too much on that pass from Gale Jr., but Pippen has been very impactful immediately, right? Assist, tip that led to that turnover for the Wolverines in the push, but another turnover already for the Wolverines. Problem that we've seen, throughout this season.
So, quick word for the referees. Nothing going, though. Reynolds now inbounds it to Collins. Frankie Collins gets right around Justin Pippen. Now backs up, three-point line. Gets it to Punch, back to Collins. Collins looking at his options. He gets a screen from Punch. Stops at the free throw line, and he airballs. Michigan fans are going to love that. Turnover, Michigan basketball.
Yeah, TCU hasn't scored in over 4 minutes. A large part of that is due to Michigan's on-ball defense that we're seeing. Michigan will be able, I think, build a bigger lead if they didn't have those 4 turnovers.
Cheddar for three. That's good. Will Cheddar with the quick outlet pass. He spots up. 14-10 Michigan leads.
And that's May's calling card, right? Playing fast.
Collins gets a screen from Punch. Now he looks to Wenzel. Reynolds, spin move on Walters. Nice move, but can't convert. Punch with the second chance opportunity. Good defense by Will Cheddar. Roddy Gale Jr. going the other way. Takes a spot up. Justin Pippen for three. And he misses off the back iron. Trying to get the rebound is Walters. He cannot. Frankie Collins comes up with the ball. Frankie Collins moves in quickly, moves inside, and he misses the layup. Good defense by Justin Pippen. And they're going to call a foul on the floor. They're going to call a violation on Frankie Collins. So, or actually, they're going to call it on Justin Pippen. The PA announcer just, I think, misspoke. So they're going to say probably a goaltending violation. It'll be a good basket. 14-12 is your score. Apologies for the confusion. Reuben Jones with the ball, up 2. Looks for Gale. Gets it to Gale. Gale being guarded by Reynolds. Fakes to Golden. Loses the ball. Frankie Collins comes up with it. Another steal. Collins going in on Golden. And he does not convert. No foul is called. Gale goes the other way for the Wolverines. Gale looking up the court. Gets to the corner to Jones. Who gets to Sam Walters for three. And he sinks it. Sam Walters, the three-point specialist from Alabama, gets on the board and makes a big shot for the Michigan Wolverines.
Great job by Gale Jr. after that turnover on the last possession to push the pace and get it out there.
Collins to Wenzel. To Micah Robinson. Backed out to Collins. Top of the key. Malik Diallo's in the game as well. They're going to say a foul on the floor on Sam Walters. That'll take us to the under 12 timeout. 11-12 left here. Michigan Wolverines lead by 5. So, Perry, we saw a lot right there. A lot of guys getting in the action on both sides of the ball. What did you see from especially the Michigan bench guys who tried to light a little bit of spark for the Wolverines?
I definitely saw that spark. You know, Trey Donaldson had 2 turnovers. Dusty May came out, sat him down, had LJ Kasich come in, then had Justin Pippen come in. Justin Pippen's probably been the best of the 3 here tonight. Had the nice assist, had the little stop-and-go 3 that officially clanked off the back iron, but also had the tip there and then the goaltending violation. He's been impactful. Will Cheddar hit the big 3 on the far corner as well, and then Sam Walters hit another 3 as well. 60% from the Wolverines from deep here today. 3 for 5, and they've taken 10 total field goals. That's a better percentage than what we saw against Wake Forest compared to the 33 threes, the 57 shots. If they can keep it right around 50%, I'd even like that number to come down a little bit more. The Wolverines will be in a good spot.
100%. You saw a lot of guys get into this game. You mentioned it yourself, 10 players already getting in the match for Michigan. And TCU was also throwing out 9 or 10 guys as well already in this action. Both of these teams have a lot of depth, especially from using the transfer portal this offseason by both coaches, and you're seeing it already in this early one where both teams are just throwing in different matchups and seeing where they can get some momentum.
Yeah, and Dusty May's been playing this way all year, so this isn't surprising from a Michigan perspective. From a Horned Frogs perspective, this could be due to their injury of Ernest Uday, and they're just looking to find matchups, whether it's Vlad Golden in the game. If it's Will Cheddar, who's more of a stretch big, then you can put a guy like Punch in there. And then if Danny Wolf comes in as well. So this is just matchups that Jamie Dixon is just trying to manage from the Horned Frogs perspective with a smaller lineup than the Wolverines have on the other side.
We're really interested to see what keeps going forward. Justin Pippen, Fat Brooks hasn't even entered the game yet for the Wolverines. And you obviously LJ Kaysen with the freshman, but Sam Walters comes in with the spark and a 3. Will Cheddar's playing great defense. Mara Burnett's going to come back in this game. This Michigan team is really trying to find which matchups work out well for them. The one thing for Dusty May to make sure of is don't get too complicated.
Agreed.
You still want to use guys who have chemistry and who can work well together. Yes, you want to keep changing guys, you want to keep getting fresh guys in, but I want to see how he handles letting guys go through struggles like Trey Donaldson, for example. We haven't seen him in a few minutes. I want to see what he can do to build up some of these guys, getting them into a rhythm, because you don't want to get a situation like Wake Forest where it got a little bit too late and you started running from behind.
Agreed 100%, right? If somebody has the high end, leave him in. But as we saw that more against Cleveland State, right? Fat Brooks struggled early in that game. Dusty May left him out there to kind of play through it, rebounded towards the end of that game. Obviously, TCU is a different opponent than Cleveland State, but the same kind of philosophy applies. I don't hate, in the first half, just seeing what works. I would expect more of the second half to see some guys in there for longer stints.
Speaking of Fat Brooks, he enters the game now. Same with Donaldson, so maybe Dusty May was listening to us, Perry. But Michigan started 5 on the court, I should say. Fat Brooks, Namari Burnett, Sam Walters, Vlad Golden, Trey Donaldson. TCU, Frankie Collins with the inbound pass with Reynolds, Diallo, Wetzel, and I believe it's White. So those are your 10 guys on the court right now. Reynolds, bounce pass to White, corner 3. That's off the mark. Vlad Golden with the rebound, using that size, as you were talking about, Perry, to get over this Diallo, who is about 3 or 4 inches shorter than him. Burnett with the ball, looks for a screen from Walters. Now to Trey Donaldson. He swims inside. Quick layup, that's off the mark. Vlad Golden tries with the second chance opportunity. He comes up short, and going the other way is Reynolds. Reynolds kicks it out to Collins for 3. Collins misses short, gets his own rebound though, and he misses the layup. Frankie Collins, very cold so far, just 2 points so far. Amari Burnett with the ball now on Diallo. Burnett moving inside, has to kick it back out to Donaldson. Donaldson to Walters, swings it around to Brooks. Brooks tries to get it into Golden, and they're going to call a foul on Collins on the floor. Golden comes up a little shakily, flexing his left quad, but he should be okay. Michigan will inbound the ball underneath their own basket.
Yeah, the Horned Frogs saw that inside pass coming to Golden, and they brought 2 guys, and then one of them ran into Golden. Hopefully he's all right. But Golden affected the layup on the other side as well, so that's where the size factor does come into play here. We're seeing that more.
Donaldson gets it into Vlad Golden. Golden being guarded by Diallo. He backs up 2 steps, goes down, goes up, and that's off the mark. Rebound White. TCU trying to push. Alette back to White. White, dribble drive, moves in left side, count the bucket and the foul, and one opportunity for Trezarian White.
Good move by White, had Burnett going backwards and then just kind of got the and one to go. Relatively easy and one as far as those come. But TCU needed that one. They've only made previously one of their last 10 field goal attempts. So this is what I'm saying. If the Wolverines can keep the Horned Frogs off the line, they've got a chance.
White misses the free throw. That's been a struggle so far for the Horned Frogs. And so it's 17-14. Donaldson trying to break the press. He does. Gets it into Vlad. And kick it out to Walters for 3. And he misses. Rebound comes up by White. Michigan definitely has a game plan that's spreading the ball. Trezarian White kicks it to Noah Reynolds. Reynolds gets inside on Donaldson. Back to White. White backing down Fat Brooks. Moves in. Post-up move. No good. Michigan comes up with the ball. It's Namari Burnett. Donaldson the other way now. They're going to call a foul on TCU again. Vlad Golden's just eating up those fouls. He'll take it. And now Danny Wolf comes back in the game for Sam Walters, so Michigan gets his 2 big men back in.
Yeah, that size is impactful. Again, Fat Brooks on the other end. Great defense, contesting without fouling, went straight up, force a tougher shot from White.
17-14, 9:29 left here in the first half. Donaldson looking for a guy to inbound it to, gets it to Namari Burnett. Swings it to Danny Wolf. Wolf fakes it to Burnett, goes the other way. Sees Donaldson in the corner, spot up 3, and he's off the mark. Rebound for Wolf, though. Good second chance opportunity for Danny Wolf. 19-14, Michigan leads.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask Alette to box out the 7-foot Danny Wolf.
Reynolds moving inside on Donaldson. He gets fouled, so he'll go to the line for 2.
Good move by Reynolds, got Donaldson in the air off his feet, and then had the and one opportunity. Just couldn't convert, but it's going to go to the line for 2.
At the line, shooting 2 for
So
TCU.
Noah Reynolds
Noah Reynolds.
at the line, 0 points so far, 1 rebound, 1 assist. First free throw is good.
Checking in for your Wolverines, number 42, Will Cheddar.
Will Cheddar comes back in the game for Vlad, so he'll take a breather. Nice few minutes for Vlad Golden. Second free throw by Reynolds is no good. Danny Wolf comes up with the rebound. TCU 4 for 7 from the line. Doesn't matter. Punch with the steal. Going the other way is Aulette. He moves in, but he misses. Wolf with the rebound once again. Donaldson trying to push it. Going in on punch. Hands it to Burnett. And Burnett with the tough bucket. Namari Burnett going in right side. And that'll be a timeout. Michigan leads 21-15. 8:40 left here in the first half.
Nice shot by Burnett to come in as the trailer. Donaldson had Cheddar on his left, wasn't open. He couldn't go himself, so dumped it off to Burnett for the easy lay. Michigan looking much better, playing much more within themselves, especially on the defensive end. That's where runs start. Stop, score, stop, score. It's that easy sometimes, and the Wolverines have certainly been very impactful defending the paint.
Namari Burnett 7 points, 3 for 3 from the field, leading the Michigan scorers so far. Trezarian White has 8 points for TCU. But what a spark Namari Burnett has been already for this Michigan team early in this one.
Yeah, he hit the 3 early, hit that layup to kind of force TCU burn a timeout. Looks very, very good along with Roddy Gale Jr. I think those have been your 2 best Wolverines on the outside. And then Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden have kind of been making their living inside this game, which is kind of what we expected coming in. I think something that's going to help them, especially later in the game.
Yeah, Danny Wolf is definitely capable of, being a big spotlight on the stat sheet. Vlad Golden does a lot that doesn't come up on the stat sheet defensively, especially, and that is why this Michigan defense has held TCU just 15 points with over 12 minutes of play so far. So we're back underway here. Wetzel moving in. He hands it to Punch. Punch gets blocked by Danny Wolf. Wolf slows it down. Nice defense there from the Yale transfer. Cheddar with the ball now in the corner. He's being guarded heavily. Gets to Wolf, back to Cheddar, 3-point chance! And he misses off the mark. Gale with the offensive rebound. Kaysen gets it down to Donaldson. Donaldson looking for a screen. He avoids it, sends it back out to Wolf. Pass up on the 3, gets into Cheddar, back out to Kaysen. Kaysen now drives in right side. He stops, throws it up, and they're going to say that's a travel on Kaysen. So Wolverines had a few scoring chances there, could not do anything, and that'll then bring us to our TV timeout, Perry.
That's the basketball that Dusty May wants, so right? Pass, cut, dribble, paint touch, kick it back out, 3. If he goes over you, go to the paint. Very good basketball for the Wolverines. LJ Kaysen just got a little confused trying to send it over to the corner and got called for the travel, but overall, really good possession for the Wolverines.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Dusty May definitely wants to preach passing the basketball. That's what he's had the entire time, but you and I also spoke in the last TV timeout that you didn't want to overpass. And that was really a possession where you saw a few opportunities. Cheddar in the corner, Danny Wolf top of the key.
Yeah.
There was a few shots there that Wolverines players passed up, trying to get the better shot, turns into a turnover. So you just want to make sure that you do your very best on offense. As Trey McKinney, one of the newest members of the Wolverines 2025 recruiting class, just signed today. He's in attendance today watching the Michigan Wolverines take on the TCU Horned Frogs.
Yeah, and you can hear the crowd at Chrysler Center enjoys the basketball team keeping one of their own in state, something the football team was unable to do this past week.
5-star high school player. Should be very good for years to come for the Wolverines, but as we said multiple times already, Perry, focusing on what we see right now in this game, and Michigan has a lot of prime stars on this roster.
My one concern from the Wolverines that we've seen, I think they've been very good on the defensive end. 11 turnovers, right? They had 16 each of the past 2 games. We're only 12 minutes into this one. 11 is a lot. Most of that has come from the high press. So I'm sure Dusty May is saying on the sideline something about that. Just settle down, look for your options. It's tough when you get double teamed along the sideline. You don't have many options, especially as a guard. Maybe you can't see over those larger guys like a guy like Brendan Wenzel, who's 6'8", guarding the 6'2" LJ Kaysen. But that's just something that they're going to have to play with, and I think that if this game gets close, that's something to watch for. If TCU can high press, force a couple more turnovers from this Wolverines, that could be the difference in a very close game.
Turnovers. It was a problem under Juwan Howard last year. It's still a problem right now, and there could be an argument to be made that the Wolverines' turnovers, at least right now, are just trying to get the extra pass, and they're more high percentage turnovers. But nonetheless, it's opportunities we're giving to TCU. Now, your defense has played very well. You've held TCU to only 15 points so far, but those turnovers do lead to more possessions by the other team, and you definitely don't want to give those up, especially in a close contest like we saw last week against Wake Forest and so far here against the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, we've said it a couple of times, right? It's a new offense. Dusty May's preaching playing fast, thinking fast, making passes up the floor. So that could be where some of these turnovers are coming from. It's only game 3 of the regular season. That should die down as the season goes on, but obviously you don't want to be having 11 turnovers in the first 12 minutes. That's never really a good thing.
Should get underway here. Again, 7:56 left in the first half. My name is Jake, alongside with me, Perry. So we're here on WCBN Sports. Got a fun one right here in the mix. Noah Reynolds with the ball for the Horned Frogs. Gets it to Aulette. Being guarded by Trey Donaldson. Back out to White. White now to Wenzel. Top of the key 3, and he sinks it. Wenzel with his first 3 of the game and cuts the deficit to 3.
Yeah, a matter of time before he gets hot here.
Brennan Wenzel from Wyoming. Another one of those transfers, averaging 10 points per game. 21-18 is the score. Trey Donaldson swings it to Reuben Jones. Jones stops in his tracks. Danny Wolf for 3, and it's good! Danny Wolf with the beautiful stroke. The 7-footer can do it all, and he matches Wenzel's 3 from the other end. Reynolds. Now to Aulette. Kicks it to Wenzel. Another 3-point chance for him, and he matches him again. Back-to-back threes for Brennan Wenzel. And it's once again a 24-21 small lead for the Wolverines. Gale trying to get it to Donaldson. That's the 12th turnover there for the Wolverines, taken away by Reynolds. Aulette moving inside on Wolf. He tries to get up and over. He cannot. And Danny Wolf comes up with the rebound.
He already has 8th rebound of the game.
Reuben Jones by the free throw line. Back out to Wolf for 3 again, and that's off the mark. Rebound Wenzel. Reynolds going the other way. Guarded by Jones. Nice pickpocket there by Jones, forcing the ball out of bounds. TCU regains possession.
Yeah, very nice job by Jones there to kind of just come around the back up, be off the dribble, didn't give up on the play. Allows the defense to reset a little bit here.
So Donaldson will sit. Justin Pippen comes back in. Donaldson with 2 of those turnovers. Justin Pippen brought a little bit of defensive spark last time he's out. Let's see what he can do. Jace Posey with the ball. Now to White. Back out to Posey. Driving in. Sorry, that's White. And White with the easy lay. 24-23.
Yeah, one of the only times TCU has been an interior defender here for Michigan.
Cheddar swings it to Pippen. Pippen fakes going inside, back up to Cheddar. Cheddar going the other way now to Gale. Gale being guarded by Wenzel. Good defense. Jones now looking to see what he can do with it. Let's see what Michigan can do here. Nice back pass to Danny Wolf. Dribble drive, and Cheddar with the slam dunk chance gets fouled in the process, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Nice shot by Wolf, faking the shot, right? His last 2 shots have been 3s. Defense is watching that. He knows that. Pump fakes, dribbles in, sees Cheddar. Very smart. That's the time where he make the extra pass and pass up the shot.
As Cheddar and Wolf are getting into a discussion by the free throw line. Now Cheddar going to the line for 2. Cheddar's first chance off the mark. One more opportunity here, but Vlad Golden will check into the game. Out comes Danny Wolf.
I think Danny Wolf has been pretty impactful today, right? Only 2 turnovers, which obviously you'd like to see him reduce that, but has done a lot of good on the defensive end.
Cheddar's second opportunity is good. So 25-23, Michigan leads. 5:38 left here in the first half. Reynolds with the basketball. Swings it to Posey. Looks for Diallo, hands the ball off to him. Now to Wenzel, 3-point chance, make it 3 for 3, no good. And Cheddar comes up with the rebound. Stops himself quickly, now get it to Gale. Gale moving in right side, takes it himself, and that's a tough bucket for Roddy Gale Jr.
Really nice
bucket there.
Nice layup there by Gale Jr.
Reynolds moving inside. That gets blocked by Vlad Golden. TCU still has the ball, but the big men for Michigan are making their presence known underneath.
Yeah, Vlad didn't even have to jump for that one. Just TCU goes up with the inside block, relatively routine block for Golden.
So TCU with the inbound pass underneath the basket. Reynolds has the basketball. Now it gets it to Diallo. Back to Reynolds, being guarded by Justin Pippen. Swings it out now to White. Trazarian White has the basketball, guarded by Cheddar. Moves in right side, doing what he wants to do. Uses his body. He can't come up with the basketball, but Diallo with the offensive rebound. Being double teamed by Gale and Vlad, and he just has to fling it up to Posey. 0 seconds on the shot clock, and that's going to be a turnover. Shot clock violation, TCU, Michigan basketball.
Very smart play by Gale Jr. to kind of double team Diallo in the corner right. The center doesn't handle the ball as much. You can see he got a little panic, threw up a prayer to Posey, but very nice defense there by the Wolverines.
Gale Jr. sends the ball into Reuben Jones. 4:36 left here in the first half. Sam Walters comes into the basketball game. Jones gets fouled on the baseline. And that's going to be the 4th foul on TCU. So Michigan, 7th foul on TCU. So Michigan's in the bonus. My apologies.
Jones is a guy who's kind of had trouble with the double team so far in this game. Didn't have trouble with that one. He did get fouled, but just as that was happening, he found the open guy, Golden, right in the middle. So smart play there by Jones.
So Michigan going to be in the bonus the rest of the half here. Let's see what they can do from the free throw line. Reuben Jones at the line for the Wolverines. Drains the first. Make the first, you get a second. Reuben Jones, the North Texas transfer. Huge veteran presence on this team. Thought he was going to come from the starting lineup, got injured. Namari Burnett took his place in the starting lineup, but Reuben Jones has definitely pulled his weight from the bench and is definitely helping this young group he's around. Aulette with the basketball, 29-23 Wolverines. Posey sending it down to White. White being guarded by Pippen. The freshman holding his own defensively. Pippen forces a turnover, and he comes up with the basketball. Reuben Jones going the other way. Tempo. Justin Pippen fakes the three. Hands it to Jones. 3-point chance for Jones, and that's off the mark. Rebound coming up by White. Aulette going the other way now, being guarded by Roddy Gale Jr. White into punch. Back out to Aulette. Aulette sizing up Roddy Gale Jr. Hands to Posey. Posey on Jones, and he loses the basketball. Sam Walters with the ball, gets fouled, timeout. Great defense there by the Wolverines.
Elite defense, and what we saw from Michigan earlier in the game on the defensive side, right in the paint was their strength. They were just gang blocks, and they were affecting layups. Now we're seeing more on-ball defense. Started with Pippen on that one. The last possession was Walters. It's kind of weird that Michigan's actually up 6 points. They've taken 21 shots. TCU has 26. TCU's only 30% from the field, though Michigan's 52%. And that's kind of where the difference is made up, even with Michigan having almost 5 more turnovers than the TCU Horned Frogs.
Yeah, 5 more turnovers. Wolverines only shooting 36% from 3, 4 for 11 so far. Also only 3 for 5 from the free throw line, but 52% from the field. And TCU shooting just 30% from the field is definitely where you're seeing the discrepancy right now. Wolverines playing decent offense, but fantastic defense in this first half.
Unlike what we saw against Cleveland State, this is the defense winning the game right now. And what do we say earlier in the preview, right? Michigan has to attack the interior defense of TCU. They're shooting 70% from within the arc. And most of that has come from within the paint. So that's kind of the size discrepancy that Jamie Dixon and the Horned Frog staff is kind of trying to deal with right now.
Could not have agreed more myself. We see Both of these teams sizing up side by side. Namar Burnett, 7 points still, 3 for 3 from the field. Roddy Gale Jr. following right behind him with 6, 3 for 4 from the field, also 4 rebounds from Gale. Kazarian White has 10 points and Wenzel has 9. So of TCU's 23 points, 19 have come from 2 guys. If you're TCU, how do you spread the ball more? Because that is just not going to work against this Michigan Wolverines offense.
It's extremely tough, especially when you can't get inside right now. And usually what I would say is, you got looking at guys like White and Wenzel. Wenzel's 3 for 4 from deep. Drive and then look for that extra pass back out to be on the three-point line. But right now the Wolverines are really not concerned about the drive in because they know they have Golden and Wolf back there as kind of big erasers to take away the guard's mistakes. So you just got to try and get guys involved by going to the paint, maybe getting to the free throw line. But maybe the only way that TCU is going to win this game is by out-shooting the Wolverines.
TCU definitely has to come up with the solution. They are sticking with the Michigan Wolverines right now, just down 6 points. You saw Wake Forest trail by 6 for much of the first half last weekend, ended up getting the better of the Wolverines later in that game. Difference was also Michigan was on the road. They're home right here, and you got almost a packed house doing Shark-dee-doo-doo-doo right here at Chrysler Center. So definitely the crowd on their side right now for Michigan Wolverines Friday night basketball here in Chrysler Center.
Yeah, interesting way to rile up the crowd here, which is very loud and very prominent, but I mean, it's working. So can't really argue with the results.
So we're just about to get underway here. Justin Pippen did not play a minute of Michigan's previous 2 games, is still in this one. Already with 5 minutes played, he's going to stick it through for more of the first half here. He's been a big defensive presence already with his size. They said he was going to be a project, but all these guys, all 3 freshmen, have already been pulling their own early on in this season.
Agreed 100%. Still hasn't scored in his first game, but still.
Sam Walters drains the first of his free throws as we're back underway, 30-23. He'll get one more. And Walters makes his second. He's good from the line. Walters, Golden, Pippen, Gale, and Jones are your 5 Wolverines. Aulette with the ball for TCU. Into Posey. Punch. And now Wenzel. Micah Robinson driving baseline on Pippen, and they're going to say a blocking foul on Pippen. Pippen thought it was a charge, but ref was right there. That's going to be, I believe, Pippen's first foul of the game and Michigan's 7th team foul. As fans are watching the replay, not happy with that. So now TCU is in the bonus for the rest of the first half. We're going to have free throw frenzy here in the rest of this first half, almost 3.5 minutes left. Micah Robinson at the line.
Yeah, Pippen's feet almost set there. Crowd certainly thought it was, refs thought otherwise.
Robinson's first chance is good. So Pippen comes out. Namar Burnett comes back in. Same with Trey Donaldson. (31-24). Make it 31-25. Both of Robinson's free throws are good. TCU putting on their press here. Reuben Jones trying to break it. Jones gets it to Trey Donaldson. Donaldson crosses the half-court line. Back up to Jones. Jones settling himself down for a second. Now Donaldson moves inside, kicking out to Jones. Jones cuts right, sends it to Walters around the corner to Burnett. Corner 3. That's good! Nabari Burnett is 4 for 4 in this game. First to double digits for the Wolverines, and just push the Wolverines lead to 9.
Best offensive possession from Michigan in this game so far.
Reynolds moves inside, kicks it out to Aulette. Corner 3 for him, no good. Burnett with the rebound. Going the other way is Reuben Jones. Jones, right side, trying to move left, stops in his tracks, gets to Golden. Golden moving inside on Punch. Double teamed, moves it in. He just throws it away, trying to get to Burnett, and Burnett tries to cope with the steal. Does not. Punch has it. Wenzel 3. That's off the mark. Offensive rebound is good. TCU cuts it back. Micah Robinson with the offensive rebound and the score. 34-27, 2:19 left. Tempos of both teams definitely increasing as we near halftime. Donaldson to Jones. Jones looking for a screen from Golden. Good defense there by Reynolds. Now Burnett gets it into Golden, but Golden's double teamed. Sends it away again, and Golden just gave up the ball twice on 2 possessions. Wenzel spot up 3, off the mark. Offensive rebound by Robinson, off the mark again, and Golden comes with the rebound. Michigan being careless with the basketball right now, and now Jones just gave up the ball. 3 straight turnovers by the Michigan Wolverines. Other way is Aulette moves inside, stops in his tracks. Reynolds tries to slow the pace down. Minute 30 left here. 3 straight turnovers by the Michigan Wolverines, about to match their game turnover margin of last game in the first half. Robinson moves inside. He gets fouled. That's going to be, I believe, on Namari Burnett. So Burnett gets tagged with his second foul. It'll send Robinson to the free throw line, and Michigan makes some substitutions.
Yeah, I was going to say something, that they only had, 1 turnover in the past 6 minutes, and then they have 3 straight Golden double teamed twice, and then Reuben Jones just trying to do maybe a little too much and move too fast. 15 already. TCU only has 7. That's a big reason why TCU is still in this game. If that number is even cut in half, completely different game for the Wolverines.
Robinson makes the first of his 3 throws. LJ Kaysen comes into the game. Namari Burnett comes out. So Burnett makes the 3, gets a clutch rebound, but then forces a foul. So he'll go to the bench. Robinson from Missouri makes the second. The freshman from Kansas City has been another big bright spot with 6 points off the bench for TCU. He'll come out, and Trezarian White will come back into the game. Haven't seen Frankie Collins in a while.
No.
Trey Donaldson brings the ball up the court. Gets it to Kaysen, swings it to Gale. Looks for a screen from Danny Wolf. He gets it in the right corner. Back out to Kaysen, now to Donaldson. Minute 5 remaining here in the first half. 12 seconds of the shot clock. Danny Wolf out to Gale. Gale looking to shoot, tries to get inside. Another one of those forced passes gets tipped out of bounds. Michigan will retain possession of the basketball. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Michigan needs to find a shot right here. Michigan has 4 timeouts still. TCU with 3. Quick spot of 3 from Gale, and that's off the mark. Rebound to Reynolds. Reynolds pushing. He's going tempo. Cheddar gets on him. Kicks it out to Aulette. Spot up 3. That's off the mark. Rebound to Wenzel. Offensive rebound, and he thinks he's going to get a foul, but he doesn't. Trey Donaldson with the rebound. Kaysen trying to get around the defense. Trying to get out to Donaldson. He finally does. Donaldson, stop and go. Stops again. Backs up. Now to Wolf. 27 seconds left. Michigan leads by 5. Cheddar with the ball. He loses it for a second, and he gives up the ball up. Aulette going the other way, and they're going to hold for the final shot.
16 turnovers, right? We said at the beginning, I thought it would be a point of emphasis. I'm sure it was, but just didn't execute.
Aulette to Reynolds. Reynolds moves inside on Wolf, and that sinks it. 3 seconds left. Getting it into Trey Donaldson. One more heave, and he sinks it! They're going to say that's after the shot clock, though. But Trey Donaldson already did it once against Wake Forest. He drains another half-court ball, but it's no good. 34-31 is your halftime score. And yes, as we watch the replay, he got the shot off after the shot clock went to 0. So, Perry, we saw a lot at the end of that first half. Just a minute and a half ago, Michigan led by 9 points. Now they just hold a slim 3-point lead going into halftime.
Yeah, first 4 turnovers in the last 3 minutes. TCU also was able to get a couple of big offensive rebounds. If TCU comes back to win this game, this little 3-minute stretch right before the half is going to be forgotten, but it's going to be a big reason why. They did 2 things that they haven't really been unable to do all game long. They score inside, and they got offensive rebounds on Wolf and Golden. And the Wolverines just kind of gave offensive possessions away there.
The Michigan Wolverines, again, as we said, they've had a turnover problem in the past, especially this season as well. 16 turnovers in the last 2 games. You already put it multiple times. 16 turnovers in the first half. What do you think was leading to so many turnovers that Michigan was forcing?
Earlier on in the half, I thought it was mostly due to the high press. We saw Gale Jr., Trey Donaldson throw it away a couple times. Later in that sequence, especially in the last 3 minutes. I think it was just guys trying to do too much. Rather than look for a pass, it looked like they were trying to do a little bit more ISO. Will Cheddar did it a couple times. Golden threw two-way on the double team. Ruben Jones had the other one where he was just trying to drive where he didn't really need to. So I would say that was the driving force in the late half. But I'm sure that Dusty May is going to go into the locker room. He's going to say, look, guys, we have 4 turnovers in the last 3 minutes, and I expect him to play a cleaner game in the second half, at least to start.
I expect that as well, and it's always expectations versus reality. What will this Michigan team do coming out in halftime? But let's flip gears a little bit to TCU. TCU was down by 9 points. Finished the half on a 6-0 run. You saw guys really getting into it between White and Punch and Aulette and Wenzel and even Micah Robinson off the bench. What did you see from the Horned Frogs that allowed them to not give up and stick in this game? And again, if this is a 9-point halftime lead, we're talking about this game very, very differently.
You got to give them credit because it's not like Michigan's giving the ball away. Yes, they have turnovers, but TCU are also forcing them in a tough situation. So runs start from the defensive end. I said it earlier. They've taken 11 more shots than the Wolverines. So naturally, that's going to come back a little bit. They're only 10 from 33. If they get some positive regression there, this could be a very, very different game if they continue playing elite defense.
10 steals, 7 turnovers themselves by the Horned Frogs. But that 6-0 run, we'll see if that plays a factor here. But this is anyone's game so far. Michigan, 4 turnovers in the final 3 minutes. Also had a scoring drought in that final 3 minutes, as you and I were talking about it with each other. 4 straight possessions, 4 straight turnovers for the Wolverines to end that first half. Some of your stats for the first half, as we've said multiple times, Nimari Burnett leads the Wolverines in scoring with 10 points, 4 for 4 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, 4 rebounds himself. Danny Wolf, 5 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. Definitely been massive on the boards. TCU, now you've got a few other guys getting involved in that scoring. We set the final media timeout at the end of the first half. Just 2 guys made up 19 of the 23 points for TCU. Now you have Wenzel with 9, Robinson with 6, and Tredarius White with 10. So definitely coming back a little bit, but as you said, that 30.3% shooting mark for TCU, if they can improve that a little bit more, you're only down by 3 points shooting 30% right now. If you could shoot 40%, TCU could take this game.
Agreed, and Robinson's stint especially in those last 3 minutes was especially impactful. I believe he had a steal. He had an easy layup off of a putback. He was a big reason why you can see the scoring distribution for TCU is starting to become more spread out, and a big reason why they're only down 3 as opposed to being down 9.
This is anyone's game. Michigan has the height mismatch, potentially the skill mismatch, but you're seeing Wolverines turnovers, TCU taking advantage of those turnovers is where we see this game right now. 34-31, Michigan is leading at halftime. Perry, before we take a brief intermission and hand it over to our colleagues for the second half, any final thoughts?
This is a really weird game because you look at it and you say, from this point of view, it looks like Michigan's playing better basketball, right? They're making more shots. They're shooting the ball better. On the other hand, they're letting TCU back into this game. They need to clean up the turnovers. And TCU, even if they could just shoot a little bit better from the inside, they started to crash the boards especially well from the corners. That can start to confuse the Michigan rebounding, especially Wolf and Golden, and lead to more possessions to the Horned Frogs. So the Wolverines need to find ways to get more shots up of themselves because honestly, they're shooting the ball pretty well.
You and I talked about before the game even started that Michigan needs to rebound the ball well and shoot the 3 well. Well, Michigan has 21 rebounds to 16 from TCU, but TCU has really crept back in that rebound category, and the Wolverines are shooting 38.5% from 3, which is below what Dusty May definitely wants to see from his team. Now, you're still leading at halftime, but the Wolverines expect a lot out of themselves. A 3-minute scoring drought at the end of the first half is not what Dusty May wants. It's similar to what they saw against Wake Forest at the end of last game, and you need to see what this Michigan team does. We've seen, well, we're reading it right now, we've seen 11 players for Michigan get action so far in this game. That is a lot of guys.
A lot.
And it's great to have, but it also kind of hurts the chemistry and the rhythm, as you and I were talking about. So We'll see what Dusty May decides to do. I know he likes a bigger lineup. He likes to play 8 or 9 guys, but you also are seeing who's playing well and who isn't playing well, and I'm interested to see what goes on, especially with a guy like Trey Donaldson, starting point guard, 0 points in the first half.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see a guy who I highlighted before the game, Vlad Golden, right, was really, really impactful the first 10 minutes, stayed impactful on the defensive end, but as the half went on, started to give the ball away. Is only 1 for 2, only has 2 points. He's the biggest guy on the floor most of the time by at least 4 to 5 inches. That's something that the Wolverines have to find a way to take advantage of in the second half.
How does Vlad fit into this offense? That's what I've been trying to wonder, right? Because this team likes to go fast, like to shoot the ball, they like to shoot the 3 ball, like to pass the ball. You're seeing a lot of these turnovers committed by Golden. He has 3 turnovers, 2 points, 3 rebounds. It feels like the ball is sometimes going to him, but also he sometimes gets lost in the offense. What do you think is his role in this offense, and why do you think it's been a struggle for him so far?
I'm honestly really surprised it's been a struggle because he played in Dusty May's offense at FAU. Like, he knows the system. So you can argue that Will Chatter and Danny Wolf have been better than him so far this season. It's tough to rim run as a center. I think his value for this team, though, is going to be mostly on the defensive end. And then hopefully he can get a couple dump-offs, work inside a little bit. But I think what will really open up the offense for Vlad Golden is if Danny Wolf or Will Cheddar is out there and can get hot from deep, kind of open up the paint, allow him to work in the post a little bit more.
I agree. You saw at the end of the half, if you guys aren't watching the actual TV broadcast, Golden's 2 turnovers in back-to-back possessions were flimsy throw-ups because he got trapped in the corner.
Correct.
And I feel like positioning is very important for him. You can't get trapped on the outside post or he feels lost. Vlad Golden lives in the paint or at the top of the key. You got to kind of use him like Hunter Dickinson a little bit, like Michigan did. Dickinson would never get caught on the side of the post because he knew where he needed to be. And I feel like Vlad Golden is struggling to see where he fits in on an offensive possession that gets settled in. Now, if Michigan's going fast break, that's one thing. But at the top of the key, Ruben Jones has the basketball, Trey Dalton has the basketball. Where's Vlad Golden? They're trying to swing it to the corner, get it inside of him, and that's where he gets into trouble. So I agree with you. You have to use him in very specific ways. Defensively, he's a star. He's preventing guys from getting inside. He's been a grim, he's preventing guys from getting to the glass 100%. Offensively, though, I want to see what Dusty May can do in terms of positioning him on where is he going to feel more comfortable. Can he do a hook shot? Does he need to, post up and get inside? What is his shot? Because we really struggle to see what that shot is for him so far. And
it's not going to change in one half, right? It's going to be something that they're going to have to watch throughout the season. I'm sure it's going to be a focus of Dusty May because he is a really impactful player. He's a very impactful player at FAU. So I agree with you. Even Hunter Dickinson at Kansas, you can see how he was used against Michigan State. He's getting to the center of the court or the top of the key, looking for handoffs, high pick and rolls. I think they need to use more. Just find ways to get Golden the ball because this is a game that on paper should be very impactful.
Well, Perry, it was an honor doing this broadcast with you. Michigan leading 34-31 at halftime against Wolverines, are 1-1. It's going to be the start of a 3-game homestand for the Michigan Wolverines, and you're going to get all of that coverage and more here on WCBN Sports. We're going to hand it off to our colleagues in just a second, Zach and Matthew. And so if you guys give us 2 minutes to do a little transition, you're going to get an amazing second half call here on WCBN Sports. For Perry, myself is Jake. Thank you all for listening. Stick with us as we'll be right back. Go Blue.
Let's welcome back to the floor, your Michigan Wolverines.
And welcome back to the Chrysler Center, everybody. My name is Zachary Warshaw alongside Matthew Peel for the second half here. 34-31 Michigan at the half as we have about 2.5 minutes remaining in the break. Just gonna go off where the other guys were talking about. Let's address the elephant in the room. First of all, I want to get your opinion on what both teams need to change before we start. But the most terrifying thing, if you're a Michigan fan, is the 16 turnovers in the first half. What do you feel about that, and what else do they need to adjust if they want to clarify themselves as the clear leader in this game?
Absolutely. That is a lot of turnovers, especially for one half of play. And Michigan's had a lot of trouble with the high pressure that TCU has given them. They have done a phenomenal job of putting 2 people, 3 people on the opposite end of the court to make sure that Michigan is feeling the pressure. And they definitely have. They've gotten a lot of those steals, and they've gotten some points off of those, keeping themselves close in this game. And I think the best thing to do is just avoid those long passes, avoid those risky passes, especially from way deep on your own side if you're Michigan. And then the other thing you're going to want to do is just get some more movement around the court, make sure people are open a little bit further back so you're able to get up that court. Once Michigan gets up the court, they've been doing a phenomenal job scoring some big threes, especially from Cheddar, from Burnett, from Wolf. They've been really hot from beyond the 3 line, and it's just going to be a great game. Great second half. Really looking forward to what's in store.
Absolutely. Touching on the hot with the 3-pointers, let's move over to the TCU side of the ball, where Trezarian White, already has 4 3-pointers in this game. He's leading their team with 10 points, as well as Wenzel for them has 3 3-pointers on his own. The main story I'm looking at, though, is the somewhat absence of Frankie Collins for the Horned Frogs. Only 2 points in this game. He's usually a lot more active, a lot more involved. We didn't see him a lot at the beginning, and towards like the second half of that, we really didn't see him at all. He didn't really come off the bench, so don't know if there's something else happening there, or they're just not. Don't want him to get into foul trouble or anything. But I'd be interested to see if they try to utilize him more in the second half as they have their first couple games of the season.
Absolutely, and I'm sure it's nice for Collins to be back somewhere that he's been familiar with. Was actually a player at Michigan for his freshman year of college, and then went on to Arizona State, played there for a couple seasons, and now he's playing his senior season as a transfer at TCU. And I'm sure he'll be wanting to show up for this second half.
For sure. About ready to start the second half here. Michigan still in their all-white uniforms, TCU wearing their all-purple. Looks like we're going to have the same starting 5 as the beginning of the game, with Donaldson, Golden, Wolf, Burnett, and Gale Jr. actually was starting. He started the first half. So the same starting 5 for the teams. TCU will start the second half with the ball as everyone just gets set up. Inbounding will be Noah Reynolds.
It has been some great energy from Chrysler Center this evening. This is Michigan's home court. And last season it was a very, very sparse crowd. Very few people attended these games. And Dusty May, the goal at the beginning of the season was, let's get this place full by the end of this month, end of November. And there are a lot of people here tonight ready to cheer on this Michigan basketball team as they are looking for a comeback season.
And we're off with the second half. TCU going from left to right, Michigan from right to left. TCU starts with the ball. It's going to be Collins with it at the top of the arc. Passes it over to Reynolds. Reynolds moving down the right side. Back to Collins. Over to the left-hand side for Punch. Punch has the top of the arc. Moving over to the left wing at this point. Hands it back off to Collins. Collins trying to get around Donaldson, unable to. Finally takes a shot right inside the arc. Bounces off the backboard, no good. Rebound by Golden. Pass it up to Wolf. Wolverine's moving it up now. Gale Jr. on the baseline trying to get around the defense. Passes it back out to Golden. Blocks on the shot, however, they're going to call a foul on TCU and Punch.
31-34 starting off the second half. TCU has done a great job of keeping this game nice and close. Michigan's tried to pull away a couple times but hasn't gotten to, and as we were talking, those turnovers were a big part of that.
Golden getting ready to shoot 2. First one falls. That'll make it 35-31 as we start the second half. second falls as well. So Golden is good on both.
That makes-
36-31 Wolverines as Collins takes it up the court for the Horned Frogs. Wenzel now with the ball, standing at the Michigan logo in center court, trying to set something up. Back to Collins. Collins, again, on the left-hand side, passes to the front, slammed down by Punch. What an exclamation point there by Punch to bring the Horned Frogs within 3. Michigan now with the ball on the other end. Gale Jr. moving in. Loses the ball. Going to be a tie-up right inside the arc there. Possession arrow favors Michigan, so they're going to be able to keep this ball.
And we're seeing the same thing here, still high pressure, even though that wasn't too deep in the court. TCU really wants to get after the ball.
Still high pressure, and again, we're only a minute in, 18:53 left. However, you got to clear up the turnovers. Thankfully, they had the possession arrow there, but it could have been another disastrous play. And there's a foul on the pass in there, so we're going to redo, and White for TCU is going to get another foul on that. But Donaldson will throw it in to Golden. Golden over to Wolf. Over to Donaldson on the right-hand side. 3. It's good! 39-33 Wolverines as Donaldson continues to hit from behind the arc. Collins will take it up for TCU now. Pick and roll on the Frogs. Pass it over to White. White almost loses it, has to retain it at about the half-court line. Pass it to the left-hand side back to Collins. Over to Punch. Still behind the arc here. Wenzel now with the ball. And they'll just lose it. It'll roll out of bounds. Michigan possession. This is exactly what the Wolverines want to do. Instead of committing turnovers themselves, they want to force TCU to make mistakes.
Absolutely, and that's what they're doing already in the first 2 minutes. Just over 18 left in this game.
Donaldson now for the Wolverines on the right wing. Looking for anyone open. Pass it to Wolf at the top of the arc. Was attempting to pass it over to Gale Jr. However, trying to see who that bounced off. It looks like it bounced off a TCU player out of bounds. So Michigan will retain possession. A little bit of confusion there from both teams.
Hey, straight to the referee, bounces off him, and somehow makes its way down the court.
Gale Jr. now to inbound for the Wolverines. Throws it into Golden. Back out to Donaldson at the half-court logo. Over to the right for Burnett. Burnett back to Donaldson. Donaldson over to the right-hand side. Three-point shot. Total air ball.
And of course, you're going to make some, you're going to miss some. Michigan has been super hot from 3 tonight, as we had mentioned. They're 6 for 15, shooting 40% from beyond the arc.
Danny Wolf had a good three-pointer earlier. That one nowhere close, unfortunately, so TCU has possession with Frankie Collins. Three-point now shot for TCU. That'll rattle home as well. So 39-36 TCU as Brendan Wenzel sinks a 3 from a couple of feet behind the arc. That was pretty fast, almost a Dame Lillard type shot. Michigan now has possession with Golden at the top of the arc. Tries to pass it ahead for Wolf. They're going to call a foul, so Michigan will retain possession. 17:32 remaining in the second half. Three-point game, 39-36 with the Wolverines leading.
TCU already got 3 fouls in this half so far, and under 3 minutes of play. This
Definitely
is
not ideal if you're the Horned Frogs. Trey Donaldson now on the baseline on the left-hand side. Back out to Wolf at the top of the arc. Wolf looking for anyone to pass to. Back to Donaldson on the left side. He'll push in. Back to Burnett. 3. It's good! Burnett with a 3 from the top of the arc. Just a three-point brigade here from the Wolverines. Nobody wants to take any twos. They're only going for the three-pointer. TCU now has it with Collins on the other end. Collins passes back out to Reynolds. Reynolds shot from the top of the key, bounce off the back of the iron. Burnett will take it as we have an injured Wolverine hobbling around. It's going to be Roddy Gale Jr. He's going to literally hop on 1 foot over to the bench, so not sure what happened there. Didn't see it, but he clearly hurt his foot or ankle on that play.
That would definitely be a big hit for the Wolverines if Gale Jr.'s out for this game with 6 points today and averaged 13.6 as an OSU player last year.
Reuben Jones will come in to take his place. We'll give you an update if we know what happens. In the meantime, TCU gets possession, and then the ball is stolen, and then gone out of bounds, and then a weird that was a weird sequence of events. Basically, Michigan has the ball, and I couldn't exactly explain to you how. But anyway, the Wolverines will have possession. 42-36 Michigan as Trey Donaldson takes it across half court. Pass it over to Reuben Jones on the right wing. Jones trying to get around the defender, Reynolds. Back, Jones corner three from the right side. Clanks just a little too short. TCU retains possession now. Reynolds will take it up the court for the Frogs. Reynolds trying to get around Jones. Back out to Collins. Collins on the right wing, takes a side. Right-handed layup, no good. Rebound TCU. Shot by White, however, they're going to call a blocking foul, so White is going to shoot 2 on the play.
And that's Michigan's first foul of this half so far.
Doing a good job not fouling like TCU has, as Trezarian White takes his first free throw. And that'll be good. The transfer from North Carolina Wilmington, coming home to play from Mansfield, Texas. Decided he didn't really like the East Coast much, wanted to go back to the Lone Star State. 42-37 TCU with about 16 and a half remaining in the second half. Michigan's going to make a substitution here. They're going to bring Sam Walters back into the game in exchange for Vladislav Golden. Second free throw will be good as well. 42-38 Michigan. Inbound to Trey Donaldson as he takes it up court for U of M. Michigan taking their time on this play, trying to set something up. Looks like they have a couple guys moving on the left-hand side. Passes it ahead to Walters. Sorry, Wolf, apologies. Wolf has on the left wing, right inside the arc. Wolf back out to Donaldson at the half-court line. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Donaldson makes a move, totally jukes him out of his shoes. Three-point shot, clanks off the back of the iron. That would have been a highlight real play. Rebounded by TCU and Wenzel. Wenzel handed off to Aulette, sorry. Aulette has that at the top of the key. Loses the ball. Walters will have it from Michigan. Passing over to Donaldson going down the right side. Right-handed layup. Floater sinks. Good. 44-38 Michigan.
And that was a great shot by Donaldson, recovering after that missed three-pointer. And he's now at 5 points today.
TCU inside their own half-court line now. Reynolds has the ball. Trying to get around a couple Michigan defenders. He'll take it himself all the way to the right side. Left-handed layup is going to be no good. It'll just rattle out. They'll call a foul, however, it's on TCU, so Michigan is going to retain possession as we enter our first media timeout of the second half. So far, almost 5 minutes into the second half, we see TCU already 4 fouls, a little bit of foul trouble. Michigan started with the little shaky turnover right out of the gate. However, they seem to have cleaned it up in the last 4 minutes or so. What have you seen that's impressed you so far from either squad? What are you noticing so far in the second half?
Definitely agree with what you were mentioning on the turnovers. That was probably something that was discussed in the locker room with Dusty and the squad, definitely to minimize those turnovers. And I think, as we can see, they've definitely done a good job with doing that. And TCU still hanging in this thing, real tight, 38-44, trailing only by 6 points.
Absolutely. Damari Burnett has jumped out as Michigan's leading scorer with 13 points in this game. White for TCU still leads them. Actually, he's tied with Wenzel for 12 points apiece. So a little bit of a more split effort going on the TCU side of the ball. Story has, for the second half, offensive-wise, has been the three-point ball. Both teams shooting amazing from behind the arc, with seemingly nobody really wanting to take a two until the last minutes or so and before that break where it was layup central. But brought it to 44-38 pretty quick when it was a 33-30 or so game at halftime.
TCU shooting just over 30% tonight, and Michigan just over 50% tonight. TCU's had plenty more shots than Michigan, but have proportionally missed a few more than Michigan.
Speaking of shooting, both teams shooting at about 40% for the three-point ball, so definitely some good three-point shooting tonight. However, interesting to note, offensive rebounds, TCU has got a great number with 8 compared to Michigan's 3. That has been really thanks to Trezarian White, who has been, he has 5 rebounds on his own. He's doing a great job getting those balls that clank off by his own players and giving them a second chance opportunity. Really an underestimated effort to keep TCU in this game, because without those 8 rebounds and the second chance opportunities, it's not a 6 or so point game. It's more like 10 or 12. So very important to note.
Most definitely, and the action's just about to start up again super shortly. Thank you for joining us at WCBN. Glad to have you.
It's always a pleasure. Starting out with 15-19 remaining in this half, 44-38 Michigan. I'm Zach Warshaw alongside Matthew Peel. Always a pleasure to broadcast Michigan basketball from the Chrysler Center. We get ready to resume play here. Damari Burnett will head to the baseline to inbound for the Wolverines. Looks like we're going to see the same five for both teams here. Only substitution. Oh, never mind. That's not a substitution. Yeah, no. Substitution is TCU's going to bring in Punch in exchange for Diallo. Michigan throw it up the court really quickly. Alley-oop pass from Wolf to Walters. What a quick turnaround that was. They got it up the court in like 2 seconds. 46-38 Michigan now as TCU has it. Working along the left-hand side. It's going to be White with the ball. Going to pass it to the middle for Punch. Punch will hand it off to Collins. Collins tries to get over to Manning, taken away by Walters, though, as Donaldson will take it now for Michigan the other way. Donaldson moving on the left-hand side inside the arc. Jones moving now. Returns outside the three. Hands it off to Wolf at about the midcourt logo. Wolf heading to the left-hand side. Pass it over to Jones on the left. Jones right up at the top of the free throw line. Will take a just one-handed shot, a little short, but Wolf gets the rebound and puts it in. Capitalizing on that dangerous opportunity, almost missed it, but will bring it to a 10-point game, 48-38 Michigan. Great second chance opportunity by Wolf there. Now TCU has a little wide open lane for Aulette as he just walks in and slams that down for TCU. No one was paying attention to him. They all were focusing on defending the three-point shot, so the power lane was wide open there. Wolf now for the Wolverines on the midcourt logo. Trying to get around. Nobody. On the left-hand side now, Burnett right inside the arc. Passes out to Walters. Three-point shot, and it's good! Rings around and in. 51-40 Michigan. Michigan still thriving off the three ball here in the second half. 11-point game with about 13 and a half remaining. Collins now for TCU on the baseline. Passes it out. Three-point shot for the Frogs. No good. Second chance opportunity to be fouled on, so they're not going to count the basket even though it went in. However, I don't know if it'll be a shooting foul or what's. Oh, it's over the top. It's going to be a foul on TCU, so they'll lose possession entirely, and Michigan will have the ball now. Going to make a couple substitutions here. Almost an entire substitution for the Wolverines.
This last minute of basketball, we've seen some great things from the Wolverines. You definitely see the team's chemistry building, but you also see the team's individual skills. Walters hitting a big three. Wolf using his height.
Sorry to interrupt. They're going to lose the ball. It's going to take the other way by TCU. Another wide open opportunity for Aulette, and he'll just lay it up and be fouled on the shot. So a chance for a three-point play for the Frogs here. Aulette really has this Michigan's defense's number here, just getting these wide open opportunities. Has 5 points in the last minute and has a chance to make it 6 at the moment on the free throw line. Substitutions officially for Michigan. They're going to have now Wolf, Kaysen, Burnett, Pippen, and Walters on the floor for U of M. TCU has Manning, Aulette, Collins, White, and Diallo. As I say that, they're going to take out White in exchange for Michael Robinson. 51-42 Michigan here. TCU trying to make it an 8-point game on this last free throw. Maze Rage getting involved now, trying to get him out of the habit. However, will clank off a few times and in, so it is going to be an 8-point game as he sinks the free throw. Pippen now taking it across half court for the Wolverines. They'll send it over to the middle for Wolf. Wolf trying to push on the right-hand side. It's blocked by Diallo, trying to get around the big center. Tried to pass it. They're going to call a travel violation on Wolf, so turnover there for the Wolverines.
Wow,
Diallo, the 6'9" center from Mali, is an absolute tower there, even for Danny Wolf, who's 7 feet himself. Really strong defensive presence that is very tough to get around. Collins now has it for TCU on the other side. Pass it over to the right for Robinson. Robinson standing at the Michigan logo in half court. Heads over to the left, back to Collins. Collins along the baseline will walk under the hoop, back out. 3-point shot for the Frogs. No good. Rebound by Burnett. Take it the other way for Michigan. Pass over to Wolf. Wolf, wide open lane. Left-handed layup, no good. They're going to call a foul, however, shooting foul. So Wolf will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 for Michigan. 12:45 remaining in the second half as Wolf will shoot his his first and second free throws again. I was reading the wrong stat there.
TCU's racking up these fouls, just one away from putting Michigan in the bonus, and Danny Wolf is going to take them.
Being in the bonus, almost in the bonus, sorry, with over 12 minutes remaining in this half, definitely not where TCU wants to be. They're going to have to try and be a little more conservative these next couple minutes, as Wolf's going to miss his first free throw. It's still a 51-43 game. Both teams making some substitutions now. I don't want to talk during this. Everyone's so quiet. I feel like I'll mess him up. I messed him up because I talked. He missed the second free throw, so he'll miss both as TCU takes it the other way now. Collins are going to have it right at the half-court line. That was like an inch from an over and back, so almost a bad idea for the Frogs there. Going to dance around two defenders. Finally kicks it back out to Aulette. Aulette has it at the top of the arc for the Frogs. Pass it Diallo. Back to Aulette. Over to the right for Wenzel. Wenzel on the right wing. Can't get around this Michigan defense. Back to Diallo at the top of the key. Out to Aulette. Aulette will finally take a three from the right wing. No good. Rebound by Michigan. Taken up court now by Gale Jr. Gale Jr. will throw it over to Burnett in the right corner. Burnett walking around. Back out to Pippen. Pippen for Wolf. Trying to get around Diallo again. Can't. Left-handed layup around the huge center. It'll sink in. 53-43 Michigan's now a 10-point game again. Great job getting around the center from Molly there. TCU taking it the other way with Collins again leading the charge. Trying to set something up here at the top of the key. Failed pick and roll. Helped take himself on the left-hand side. Tried to pass it back. I don't know if it was deflector or he just lost control of it, but completely just flew up in the air. And we'll enter our second media timeout of the second half with 11:43 remaining. Still a 10-point game, 53-43 Michigan. Matthew, what did you, since our last media timeout, what adjustments did you see made that you liked?
I definitely like Wolf's driving right into the hoop. He's done a really good job of that this game, and that's something that he has just done really well throughout his career. First team, all Ivy League at Yale, and now he's here doing the same thing, making those big plays. That's a big adjustment that's been made. But TCU, they're back to the game they were playing first half. You saw 2 steals right in a row, getting them some points, driving their score up. And Michigan has been breaking away a little bit. Now you got just up 10 points. And this is a big point in the game right after this media timeout to where Michigan can pull away or where TCU can hang in this thing and stay competitive. I think this is the point where we see that.
Absolutely. And interesting you should mention Danny Wolf. So the first half we saw when he couldn't get around Diallo, he'd kick it out to the arc for Donaldson or whoever was open. We're seeing a lot more attacking or aggressive nature here from him, just trying to get around the center and basically forcing the basket. Definitely a good idea here as well, as we mentioned. TCU already in foul trouble. So if you're able to force a foul from Diallo, it's going to put him in the bonus. So really it's a win-win here if you're Michigan. TCU is going to play conservative for the next few minutes. Try to take advantage of that and play aggressively, because worst case scenario, they foul and you're in the bonus now. So really you can't lose if you're the Wolverines offensively. TCU's got to be very careful how they play these next few minutes.
Most definitely. And overall, I think we're just seeing some great ball movement from both of these teams. And really, just a reminder, both of these teams are super new. TCU had lost almost 10 of their veteran players last season, so this is a big rebuilding time for them. They had a lot of transfers come in. And same thing for Michigan, coming off of a really, really difficult season, pretty much starting at nothing. A lot of new players coming in. What's it going to look like? How are they going to play together? And I think from both sides, we have seen some phenomenal things, just keeping the pace up and really working well together.
Absolutely. As Jake and Perry were talking about in the first half, these two teams really should teach a course on like Transfer Portal 101. Both have totally rebuilt their squads from last year by use of either recruiting or the transfer portal. Specifically, let's focus on Dusty May getting several transfers, including his own son and Vladislav Golden, the transfer from FAU, as well as you mentioned Danny Wolf from Yale with a huge acquirement. Just an absolute 180 from last year's Michigan squad, which was a little lackluster, a little disappointing to watch, just being honest. And so we've seen a complete turnaround in the program at this point. And you see an electricity both in the crowd and with the team that wasn't present last year. It was almost like it felt like a library at points last year. So now it's definitely good to see real Big Ten basketball back in Ann Arbor.
Absolutely. And even just from a student's perspective, you kind of heard this word going around. You got this new coach, you got this new team, and I was thinking it's going to take at least 2 or 3 seasons to get something decent going, but I have been very surprised this season. It's been a great treat.
Me as well. Pleasantly surprised. TCU now will start again. Collins will have a large Kareem skyhook. Rebound was almost by Golden. However, he knocked it in accidentally. So it'll bring 53-45 Michigan with 11.5 remaining. Michigan now has it in TCU zone. Jones has the ball. Over to Burnett in the left wing. Back to Jones on the center court logo. Golden with the pick and roll. Back over to Walters. Another air ball 3, unfortunately. Almost got the rebound. Burnett loses the ball, however, and Collins for TCU has it. Quakes it over to the side. Left shot 3. TCU will have a very quick turnaround there. And the 3 ball from Wenzel is good, making it 53-48. TCU closing the gap now. A little quick tempo there. We haven't seen that a lot from TCU. Meantime, Burnett has an underneath the hoop, left-handed layup. No good. They're going to call a shooting foul, though, so that will send Burnett to the line. And there it is, Michigan in the bonus with over 10 minutes remaining in the second half. So definitely a good spot for the Wolverines. TCU is now in foul trouble officially.
Most definitely, but if TCU has something good going for him, it's Wenzel's threes. He has shot 5 for 7 from beyond the 3 line, and he's 5 for 9. So that means all of his points are coming from those threes. 15 total
15
today.
15 points all off the 3. Very impressive job by Wenzel. He's the next Steph Curry in the making, in case anybody wants to quote me on that and say I was totally wrong in about 3 years. Burnett taking his first free throw shot now. No good. It'll clank off both sides and out. Walters is going to check out now for the Wolverines. Will Cheddar's going to come back in, trading out big man for big man. Burnett setting up to take a second shot here after missing the first one. That'll be good. So he's going to go 1 for 2 on free throws, making it 54-48 Michigan as TCU takes it the other way with Frankie Collins once again. Collins working around the middle here. Kicks it over to the right for Wenzel. Wenzel drives along the baseline, passes it back out to the arc. Reynolds has it now, back to Collins. Collins drives right through the middle. Poster slam over Vladislav Golden. That's going to be on every highlight reel this tonight. Oh my gosh. Jumps over the 7'1" center to just slam it home to bring TCU within 4. A couple change of possessions here now. As I got too lit up about that poster. Looks like TCU is going to still have possession of the ball here. 10:25 remaining, 54-50 Michigan. That was an incredible job. Frankie Collins leaps over 2 defenders, notably Vladislav Golden, just to slam it home in his face.
That was an absolute slam. Definitely one of the best ones that I've seen.
TCU now has it again with Frankie Collins right on the center court logo. Trying to set something up here, capitalize on this momentum they now have. Collins inside the arc on the left wing. They'll pass it over to Reynolds now back at the half-court line. Pass it over to the right for White. White has it at the top of the arc. He'll set up for a 3-point. Just a little short, no good. Rebound Cheddar. He'll hand it off to Donaldson, and they'll take it the other way. Donaldson on the left-hand side. He'll go up the right lane. They're going to call something here. It's going to be foul on TCU. Not exactly sure what happened. However, since it's in the bonus, they're going to head to the free throw line. It'll be Trey Donaldson shooting the free throws. Donaldson 0 for 0 on the night, so these will be his first and second free throws. Only 5 points for Donaldson. Still a little quiet in terms of his usual performance. We'll see if he can add to his totals here. He'll make the first, 55-50 Michigan, as they set up for the second here now. 2 for 5 on field goals, 1 for 3 for Trey Donaldson. So he's probably disappointed in his own performance, but he definitely has a chance to make up here with still 9:57 remaining. And he'll stick the second as well to be perfect on free throws for the night and bring them to 7 points. 56-50 Michigan with 9:50 remaining. Frankie Collins for TCU going the other way now. He'll hand it off to Reynolds. Runs it over to Wenzel. Wenzel takes a 3-point shot. Too much on that one. Rebounded by Punch. Punch puts it back. No good on that either. couple players collide, they're going to call a foul on Michigan here. They're going to call Cheddar for the foul.
Punch had a decent look there, but you're not really going to get anywhere when you got Golden and Cheddar right in front of you, these two beasts.
Yeah. TCU making a change now. Aulette's going to come back into the game. TCU definitely taking their time here, trying to set up. Frankie Collins now steps on the baseline to inbound it for the Frogs. Very late substitution now for Michigan. Wolf's going to come back into the game in exchange for Golden. Clearly, Coach Dusty May saw something very last second. He wanted a mismatch. He wanted to adjust there. TCU now to inbound. 9:41 remaining. Collins hands it over to the left. White with the ball right under the hoop. Right-handed layup, no good on that one. Bounces around, and TCU is going to get the rebound. We're going to kick it back out to Collins at the half-court logo just to completely reset. Shot clock at 12 for TCU. Top of the arc. That is, not sure, sorry, can't see the number. Right-hand side, out to Collins on the right. On the baseline, just a floater sinks in for TCU to bring them again within 4, 56-52. We're seeing Michigan maintain about a 3 to 4 point lead here in the second half. TCU trying to get a little closer than that. Donaldson taking to the other side now as the crowd really gets into this. 9 minutes remaining in the second half. Donaldson will hand it over to Wolf at the top of the arc. Wolf going on the right-hand side. He'll kick it out to Burnett in the right corner. Makes his way up the wing. Back to Wolf on the baseline. Trying to get some. 4 seconds remaining in the shot clock. Kicks it back out to Donaldson. Donaldson will take a 3. No good. Too short on that one, but he'll get his own rebound. Power up, and the layup is good. Amazing effort there by Trey Donaldson to run up, get his own rebound, and get a right-handed layup over Diallo to make it 58-52 Wolverines. Frankie Collins for TCU now. He'll give it to Punch. Over to White. Back to Punch. Layup is good. 58-54 Michigan. 8:13 remaining. A little back and forth here from both squads. No one really ready to pull away here. Trey Donaldson almost had it back over and back. He'll kick it out to Gale Jr. They're going to blow a whistle though and say there's a foul. Foul on TCU, so Roddy Gale Jr. will go to the line to shoot 2. 0 for 1 for 3 throws for the night for Gale Jr. 6 points for him. TCU going to make a couple substitutions here. Going to take out their core 3 they've been rotating around all night. With 8 minutes left, going to let them sit a few minutes to be fully refreshed for the final charge in a few.
Wenzel might be getting himself into foul trouble now. He's got 4 on the day, so 1 more and he'll have to be taking the bench for the rest of this game. Definitely a key player.
Their leading scorer with 15 points, so TCU really can't afford to lose him at this point, so definitely he needs to be wary about that. Now Michigan will make a few substitutions. TCU's lineup now will be Aulette, Robinson, White, Reynolds, and Diallo. Michigan's going to line up with Wolf, Donaldson, Brooks, Gale Jr., and Cheddar as Gale Jr. makes the first free throw. 8:02 remaining, as we mentioned here. 59-54 Michigan. Michigan steadily leading the second half, however, not able to fully pull away just yet. TCU staying in this one. A little bit of foul trouble has caused them to not be able to keep it super close, about a 3 to 4 point margin. As the second free throw is good to make it a 6-point lead for the Wolverines. TCU takes it the other way now with Reynolds. Taking his time to slowly walk up the court, let his guys set up on the other end. Heavy pressure by Brooks. TCU has it. Diallo's wide open under the net. Layup is easily put in by Diallo there. Was just left alone there. Very strange for them to leave the big man wide open, so it'll be 60-56 now. Gale Jr. with the ball for the Wolverines. Out to Donaldson on the right side. Donaldson back to Wolf. Over to the right-hand side for Jones. Jones on the baseline. Back to Wolf. Misses the layup. Rebound is bounced around. They're going to give possession to TCU. Say it was out on a Michigan player. 7:22 remaining. 60-56 Michigan as we enter our third media timeout of the half. So touching on where we left off, now 9 fouls for TCU. Very well in the bonus, Michigan here. Kind of the same story. 4-point lead. No one really able to pull away yet. Both teams doing a great job It's been a story of three-point shot and the big man here. What do you see and you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think TCU's just doing a great job with making some adjustments on offense. We saw that they had some trouble, especially in the paint first half. And now that they're getting a couple more floater shots, especially with the range with Wenzel's beautiful three-pointers, they're doing a good job to make sure they stay in this thing. And Michigan, on the other hand, I don't have too much to complain about from that end, especially some plays where it seemed a little sloppy. They have made sure they cleaned it up. Just a couple of plays ago, we saw Donaldson miss a decent range shot. He missed a three. He got his own rebound and made sure he got that ball in the hoop, and that was very well done.
Absolutely. Just to reiterate your point from a couple minutes ago, 4 fouls now for Wenzel on the night. If he fouls out, that is probably not ideal for TCU. They really need him to stay in this game as he's leading the charge with 15 points, all in the three ball by himself. Michigan now shooting 40% from three, however, TCU has dropped to about 31%. So Wenzel's really the only one that's really consistent.
Most definitely. Wenzel's had a beautiful history from beyond the three-point line. Shot over 35% from three at Wyoming, where he had just played before the season.
Again, a very good use of that transfer portal. Pick up this guy from the Mountain West. You're like, okay, can he play Big 12 ball? Yes, he can. A great job by the coaching staff and Jamie Dixon for TCU to find these players that you wouldn't like. You're not getting a guy from Duke, but you're getting a great player from Wyoming. They've gotten a couple players from these smaller schools. Wenzel from Wyoming, Aulette from Old Dominion, Noah Reynolds from University of Wisconsin at Green Bay. Like, these are great jobs. Oh, and Trezarian White from North Carolina Wilmington. Like, you're not getting guys from the Big Ten or SEC, but you are getting solid players that have flown under the radar. It's a great job by the coaching staff there down in Fort Worth.
Oh, 100%. And Jamie Dixon, he's had a history of turning some teams around. He's had a history of rebuilding, which is what Dusty May is hoping to do at Michigan. It's his 9th year as head coach, so he's familiar with the program. And he's had 3 straight NCAA tournament appearances, which is absolutely huge for the TCU program. So he's doing a great job, and I think, especially after those big losses last year, he's doing a great job rebuilding that team.
Absolutely. Playing college ball in Texas, obviously the big college basketball programs are going to be programs such as Baylor, TCU usually seen as like kind of like the little brother scenario there. So definitely trying to change that narrative and make TCU a program to be reckoned with down there in the Lone Star State. We'll start up again here. 60-56, Michigan leading with 7:22 remaining in this second half. TCU takes it over the half-court line. It'll be Reynolds with the ball. Throw it over the left for Aulette. Aulette over to Diallo at the top of the arc. Diallo trying to get around Wolf. He'll just hand it off to Aulette. Sorry, Reynolds, apologies. Reynolds back out to White on the left wing. White over to Robinson. Robinson throws down the right lane. Euro step, right-handed layup. Smooth job. He'll sink it in to bring it to 60-58. 2-point lead now for the Wolverines as Gale Jr. just drives in, swatted by Diallo. Amazing defensive job there by Diallo to absolutely send that layup opportunity into the second row of seats. Michigan will retain possession, however, that is another just great highlight play from the TCU Horned Frogs here. 6:44 remaining the second half as Michigan inbounds the ball to Burnett. Burnett will walk back out to the center court logo, try to reset. Give it over to Wolf on the left wing. Wolf right inside the arc. Throw it across the court. Donaldson, right corner. 3. Sinks in. Good. 63-58 Michigan. Another three-point shot for Trey Donaldson. He seems to have found his stroke here in the second half of this second half. TCU with the ball now. Aulette with it. Try to get around Gale Jr. However, I'm going to say it's a blocking foul on Gale Jr. It's going to be a second foul for Roddy today. Not in the bonus just yet, so TCU won't shoot free throws. However, with 6 fouls now, that's the last one before they will. TCU to inbound the ball from the baseline now with Deshaun Aulette. Aulette bounces right underneath the hoop to Trezarian White, who take a shot and was immediately fouled. So there's the bonus right there. That was very quick. Trezarian White will go to the line to shoot 2 for the Horned Frogs, try to bring it to a 3-point game. 6:16 remaining in the second half. White already 4 for 5 for free throws for the game, so already pretty solid from the line. Has 12 points, second leading scorer behind Wenzel. And he makes the first. Frankie Collins is going to come back in for the Horned Frogs. There's a quick little 2-minute break for him. They'll probably play the rest of this game as they really drive this offense through him. The one-time Michigan player transfer they got most recently from Arizona State. Shout out to my home state. Sinks the second, bring it to a 3-point game. Trey Donaldson will take it the other way now for Michigan. 6:10 remaining in the second half. 3-point lead for the Wolverines. Wolf now on the right wing. Trying to get around Diallo. Pass it over the side for Jones. Jones will head beyond the arc. Jones pass it to Gale Jr. Burnett underneath the net. Underneath layup is in and good. 65-60 Michigan. Great look there from Jones to Burnett. Collins now the other way for TCU. Throws it length of the court to Robinson. Robinson goes along the baseline, tries to do a reverse rebound himself, and is blocked, but they're going to call a shooting foul there, and so he'll head to the line to shoot too.
And all of a sudden, this game's looking super close. TCU's brought it down to a 5-point difference. Michigan now at 8 fouls, only 1 away from TCU's 9.
Kind of what we saw with TCU at the beginning of the half. Michigan racked up a very large number of fouls in about a minute and a half there to put TCU in the bonus. As the first free throw is no good from Robinson. Robinson was 4 for 4 for free throws, so that'll ruin his perfect streak. 8 points on the night for him as he lines up for the second. That one will bounce off the rim and the backboard, but then sink in to make it a 4-point game again. Donaldson now going the other way for the Wolverines. 5.5 remaining in the second half. We'll come down to the wire here. He'll pass it over to Wolf on the right wing. Wolf trying to get around Diallo. Spend those two going at each other this entire second half. Donaldson over to Burnett in the right corner. Back to Wolf. Wolf gets around Diallo. Left-handed layup is good. 67-61 Michigan. Caught the big man sleeping there. Was able to just walk right by him. Going the other way for TCU now. Robinson, right corner, 3. No good. Rebound Donaldson. Donaldson other way for Michigan. Euro step. Back out to Burnett. Right wing, 3. Just a little short. Rebounded by Collins. He would have blew the lid off this place. Collins now running the other way, catching Michigan sleeping a little bit. Layup is going to be fouled by Burnett, and so Frankie Collins is going to go to the line. Again, we saw TCU utilizing that quick break, quick turnaround, just throw it up the court and sprint, try to get the Michigan defense snapping, and they did. Didn't get the basket, however, they will get the foul. So with 4:50 remaining, 67-61, Frankie Collins will again try to make it a 4-point game.
And that's 4 fouls on the day for Burnett. He's at 16 points today, so we're seeing a similar story with Wenzel. Just as Burnett racking up those fouls, he's got a lot of points in this game, making a big difference. All of a sudden, it looks like an even playing field.
Speaking of which, they're going to take Burnett out now, put Walters back into the game for the Wolverines. So we got Wolf, Walters, Golden, Jones, and Donaldson on the court for U of M. First free throw, no good from Frankie Collins. He'll try to make good with the second one. 6 points tonight for Collins. Not a huge scoring night for him. However, he has been the playmaker here for the Frogs. Second one is good. 67-62 Michigan, as they'll take it the other way. 4:50 remaining in the second half. Jones will take it across half court for Michigan. Heading cross court to the left-hand side. He'll just hang it off for Walters. Walters over to Wolf. Wolf to Golden at the top of the arc. Back to Wolf. Left-handed layup through the lane. No good. Second chance opportunity isn't good either. However, Golden gets the rebound, goes to it himself. No good. However, they're going to call a shooting foul, and so Golden will go to the line. 4.5 minutes remaining in the second half.
Golden right now is 2 for 2 on free throws, looking to make that 4 for 4. We'll see if he can do it.
I'm going to be quiet this time tonight, Jameson. First one is good. 68-62 Michigan. Still perfect. 3 for 3 on the night for Golden. Definitely seeing a big man look here. Michigan has 3 of them in the game with Walters, Golden, and Wolf. As he lines up for the second shot. That is no good. It was a little bit of scuffle there trying to get the rebound. It's going to be out on TCU, so Michigan's going to retain possession.
I think that went as well as it could have for the Wolverines.
That really did. Get one and then get the rebound. Trey Donaldson now to inbound it on their own baseline. He'll kick it out to Golden at the free throw line. Golden to Wolf. Over to Donaldson in the left corner. Back to Wolf at the top of the arc. Wolf, spin move. Throws it ahead for Golden. Golden, reverse layup, no good. A little too much on that. And it'll bounce out of bounds, and TCU will have the ball.
Sometimes it's those high-pressure moments that'll get to you. Sometimes you just can't get that shot in, even if it's a layup, and it happens. But I think this Michigan team is doing a great job of sticking together and making sure that they move forward together.
And just to clarify, they're actually going to call that a foul on Golden. He was trying to go for the rebound. Since we're in the bonus, we'll go the length of the court. And TCU is going to shoot 2 free throws with David Punch, the freshman from Harker Heights, Texas. First one is no good. Remains a 68-62, 6-point game with Michigan leading. 4:19 remaining in the second half. 10 fouls aside for both teams, so both teams playing definitely leading into the foul game here in the second half. Second shot rattles around and is no good as well, so he misses both free throws. And on that rebound, it looks like Michigan's going to be fouled as well, so we'll do the same thing on the other side now.
That was an exact copy-paste on each side of the court. You don't see that one too often.
We're going to call Micah Robinson for the foul. Danny Wolf will be the one shooting free throws for the Wolverines. Wolf 0 for 2 on the night from the free throw line, apologies. He'll try to get one here. 11 points in the game, however. 11 rebounds as well for the big man. All around playing very well tonight. First one, no good. Still looking for his first free throw. 0-3 on the night. The first team All-Ivy League man last year. 7-foot junior from Glencoe, Illinois. Like I said, has been pretty good all-around game going except for the free throw trouble. See if he can make this one here to go 1 for 4. And he can. 1 for 4 on the night, making it 69-62 Michigan. Michigan's going to call a timeout here, discuss what they want to do in the final 4 minutes here of the second half.
Yeah, and this is a critical 4 minutes left for the Wolverines. They're not ahead enough where they can kind of sit back and relax. TCU's probably deciding whatever happens in the next couple minutes. Are they going to play the foul game? Are they just going to try to get some more opportunities on offense? Are they going to put Wenzel back in this game and make sure that he doesn't get a foul and somehow able to knock some more threes down? We're going to see what's going to happen.
And with 4 minutes left, already clearly coming off the bench here, Wenzel will be finally inserted back into the game. Still in a little bit of foul trouble, so definitely needs to play a little conservative 4 minutes remaining. But they need to have him back in because he's their three-point barrage guy. With 69-62 TCU trailing here, the 2-ball isn't closing the gap. It's only keeping them at a steady distance. They need to find something to tie this game up and try and take the lead with 4:19 remaining.
Most definitely. And they've been doing a great job with those 2 balls, though. They've found the gaps in the defense, in the Michigan defense, that is. And they've drained it every single time, especially Micah Robinson. He's made some big-time plays. 4-star recruit freshman from Kansas City, Missouri. Apparently his favorite snack is Oreos. I don't know what to say about that, but I sure do like my Oreos as well.
Matthew, that is top-tier journalism right there, finding out his favorite snack is Oreos. I applaud you. We're seeing, I feel like, not necessarily in this game, in college basketball in general, we're seeing more freshmen come in ready to play at the D1 level and making an immediate impact. Whether we're talking about any, like, multiplayer in the men's, Michigan specifically, if you look at women's with Silas Orange as well, you see an immediate impact taking place where previously, except for Duke, you saw freshmen not really playing that much. So now it's becoming more of a widespread thing. You're coming in ready to compete against these teams and already being visibly one of the better players on the court.
Most definitely. Something they're eating, maybe. They're making the freshmen different these days.
Just waiting to restart here with 4:19 remaining. I don't know what else you want to talk about.
Oh man,
A lot of stats for them.
what an absolutely great time here at Chrysler tonight. It is just, the energy is great in this place, and couldn't ask for anything more. Great way to spend your Friday night in Ann Arbor.
Nothing I'd rather be doing tonight, let me tell you what.
Do you see any big improvements for this remaining 4 minutes?
I think that if you're Michigan, as we can already see that walking onto the court, they're sticking with the all big men look. You're able to maintain a solid lead. I think they crack down on defense now. I think TCU is putting Wenzel back in the game, having White as well. They're having all their top scorers for tonight. They're going to try and close this gap. Without fouling, I think you need to be able to put up kind of a brick wall of your big men and just completely shut off all lanes. Not ignoring the three. However, some solid defense to keep this a definitive lead. Frankie Collins now takes it as we restart. TCU trying to set something up in the attacking zone. Can't get around Jones. Finally will kick it out to the right side for Wenzel back into this game now. Wenzel back to Collins on the left side. Collins trying to find someone open. Can't. Finally gives it to Punch at the top of the arc. Punch over to Wenzel on the right wing. Wenzel trying to dance around Donaldson, is unable to. Takes a shot from the free throw line. It's gonna be up and good, but they're gonna call a foul here, so it's gonna be no basket. Not really sure what happened there.
It's an interesting play. Tough to tell from this angle too, whether it dropped
very.
or not, but hey, no point, and that is definitely something that's helpful for Michigan here.
We're going to see TCU take another timeout left, with TCU having 3 timeouts and Michigan having 2 timeouts left. We're going to see your typical basketball move where every team has to use every single bit of it in the last 4 minutes here. 3:48 remaining, 69-62 Michigan. We saw exactly there what we just talked about, how they tried to lock down on defense and did a very good job. TCU was unable to set up anything, yet Frankie Collins and Brendan Wenzel unable to really get inside the arc. They're trying to set anything up from around half court and on the right wing and just unable to, leading to the shot that didn't even count. So great first chance job by the Wolverines there. Going to see if they can replicate that for the last 3:48.
Absolutely. Both teams in the bonus plus now. Michigan with 10 fouls and TCU matching at 10 as well. TCU got Wenzel with 4 personal fouls and Punch also with 4 personal fouls now. So either one of those gets one more foul, they're going to be out of the game for the rest of today. Punch has 6 points on the day. Wenzel still with his 15, looking to knock down more of those threes.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, while we just wait for them to restart, let's talk about both these teams as a whole for the moment. Michigan coming in at 1-1 on the year. Great showing against Cleveland State at home to enter, and then down at the Deacon Wolverine Classic, just a heartbreaking loss there, 2-point loss, 72-70 on players slipping on the same wet spot 3 to 4 times if you watch that game. But this is a Michigan team that, and I'm not unbiased as possible, definitely can and almost maybe should be ranked at the moment, but at some point this year will be for sure. They definitely have put it, like as we mentioned earlier, a complete turnaround from last year's program. They put together a competitive team. TCU, on the other hand, coming in at 3-0. They've only played Florida A&M, FGCU, and Texas State. However, notably, they played number 7 Arkansas in the exhibition game and beat them 66-65. So TCU definitely a force to be reckoned with in the Big 12. We'll see what happens when they have to go to the Allen Fieldhouse and play Kansas. However, definitely showing that they're not the whipping post of the Big 12 in basketball as we're maybe used to seeing over the course of history. Definitely times are changing down the court road. Golden now will come in to shoot free throws for the Wolverines. Line up at the free throw line. 3 for 4 for free throws. Misses the first one. Golden only 5 points tonight. Doesn't have a lot on the stat sheet, but has been definitely doing a great job on the defensive end, stopping anything that comes close to the basket. Sometimes about the things that don't show up on the score sheet as he shoots the second free throw, and that'll be good.
Most definitely. Just as you mentioned, Golden has been a beast on defense, making sure that they can't drive inside.
TCU now takes it the other way. 3:40 remaining in the second half. 8-point lead for the Wolverines. Frankie Collins trying to set something up. They'll throw it over to White. White taking it at the top of the arc now. Toss it over to Reynolds in the right wing. Reynolds will head down the lane. Back out to Collins. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. 3-point. Blocked away. Unable to even get there as Wolf gets the rebound. Wolf take it up for the Wolverines now. Top of the arc will throw it out to Donaldson at the logo as Michigan takes a moment to reset. 3:12 remaining in this game. 8-point lead. 70-62 U of M. They'll toss it out to Wolf. Wolf at the top of the arc. Throw it to Golden right underneath the hoop. Tries to make a shot, however, he's going to be fouled. And so Golden will head, they're going to call it a jump ball. And the possession arrow to Michigan, so Michigan will retain possession. I misread the referee's hand signal there. .303 remaining in the second half. 3 minutes left, 8-point deficit. TCU definitely needs to make a push here now if we want to see something. Throws it out to Wolf at the top of the arc. Wolf powering through the lane, able to left-hand layup over 2 TCU defenders, making a 10-point lead. Great job by Wolf there getting past the opposition. Frankie Collins now for TCU on the other end. They'll throw it over to Reynolds on the right wing. Reynolds. Baseline now blocked away. Rebound by Golden. Michigan has possession. 2.5 remaining from Chrysler. Jones now has it for the Wolverines on the other end. He'll throw it over to Donaldson. Donaldson over to Walters. Walters back to Wolf. Lost the ball. TCU going the other way now with White. White, right-handed layup. It's good. Falls in to bring it down to 8. Another turnover there for Michigan as TCU is going to call another timeout. 2:19 remaining, 72-64, 8-point lead here. Going back to the turnovers, that was Michigan's 22nd turnover of the night, which is, even though you're leading this game, if you're Dusty May, that has got to be devastating to see it. Way too many turnovers. The fact that you're leading this game is incredible with that many. TCU has 12. You almost are doubling the turnovers tonight, and that's just showing some sloppy play. Maybe they need to take another second and breathe. Just not good in the turnover department for the Wolverines tonight.
Most definitely. That's what happens when you get caught off guard. I think there are some positives and negatives to having a team that is so large. You got Danny Wolf at 7-0, and you got Golden at 7-1. You got some other super tall guys in there. They're the ones that are going to be defending real well and making sure those twos don't happen, but also it's easier to poke the ball away. And with some high pressure and when you're caught off guard, that is going to bite you.
Absolutely. We're going to see Roddy Gale Jr. come back into the game now, here to inbound for the Wolverines. Toss it over to Jones. TCU hard pressing now defensively. Throws it up to Wolf. This gets over the line in time. Throws it over to Jones. Jones driving in. Jones now has it on the left lane. Throw it back out to Gale Jr. 3 from the top of the arc. No good. Rebound Golden. Golden has it on the right side. Toss it back out to Wolf. Wolf will hand it back over to Jones at the half-court line as the clock resets and Michigan will just regroup. Wolf now has it. Driving into the main lane. Oh, to Golden underneath the hoop. Blocks, no foul. Second chance opportunity. Good for Golden. Minute 40, 10-point lead for Michigan here. And you see the crowd starting to realize that Michigan definitely in the driver's seat here as the crowd stands up to cheer on U of M. Frankie Collins now for TCU. Layup opportunity, no good. Rebounded by Wolf. Minute 25 left. Gale Jr. takes it up for the Wolverines. Trey Donaldson now has it, and he's just going to let this clock bleed out. Minute 15 remaining in this game as the crowd breaks out into Let's Go Blue. Jones top of the arc. Over to Gale Jr. Gale Jr. driving in. Left-handed layup. No good. Gale Jr. gets his own rebound, and he'll just walk out of the zone, back out outside, and drain even more clock. 56 seconds remaining in the game. Wolf now has it for Michigan. Over to Donaldson. Donaldson at the top of the key. Takes a shot from the elbow. Bounces around and in! 12-point lead for Michigan. They're going to go 2-1 on the year with 42 seconds remaining in this game. TCU heading quick the other way, trying to get some last-second moments. 3-point shot taken by Wenzel, no good. Rebound by TCU. Second chance opportunity by Punch here. Layup opportunity just goes by the wayside, no good. Rebound by Wolf. He'll hand out to Donaldson with 20 seconds left. They'll just dribble out this game and leave with a victory. 76-64 is going to be your final scores. Shot clock is turned off. Donaldson's just going to dribble this out the half-court line. What a defensive display here by Michigan in the last couple of minutes as they'll pull off with the victory. As the clock hits 0, the band breaks out and let's go, or hails the victor, sorry. 76-64 is your final score here from the Chrysler Center. Burnett led Michigan with 16 points. Danny Wolf with 14 rebounds. TCU was led by Trezarius White with 16 points, as well as Wenzel's 15 points on the 3-ball alone. Little bit of a shaky game here from the Wolverines, even though they won. Good showing there in the last 2 minutes. Michigan now will have a couple more tune-up games before Big Ten play starts. They'll play Miami, Ohio, and Tarleton State. TCU heads back to Fort Worth to play Alcorn State and Santa Clara. Focusing on Michigan, this was a very good win. Definitely some things need to tighten up. Matthew, what do you think they need to focus on the next few weeks before they head to Fort Myers in Virginia Tech and ACC and Big Ten play starts?
Yeah, I think today we saw a little bit of what they're going to be seeing when March comes. There's a lot of high pressure. There's a quickly paced game, and especially in these tournaments that are coming up in the next couple weeks, they're going to have to deal with that. They're going to have to notice what the other team is doing, especially with that high pressure, and how are they going to get around that. I think that's a big adjustment. As we had talked throughout this whole game, what are they going to have to do? They're going to have to make sure that they minimize those turnovers.
Absolutely. Great all-around effort here from the Wolverines. Although Burnett led in points, not having a single star. Very well-balanced team here. You got your offensive talent. You got your defensive talent with Golden not showing a lot on the stat sheet, but does so much that isn't recorded in the box score that you can't appreciate it unless you're actually watching this team play. It's a definite team mentality. It's well-rounded. It's not just a bunch of superstars playing the game. So Michigan definitely has a good squad here. Like I said, they'll probably be ranked at some point. Looking over at TCU, great game played by them. We're not going to discredit them by any points. They had their main guys in Wenzel and White. There's a little bit of foul trouble, I think, at the beginning. Put them behind the 8 ball from the very start, and they could never really catch up, especially with Wenzel getting into foul trouble himself and unable to be in the game. He was their main driving force with the 3 ball. So they're not in foul trouble. This game is probably neck and neck, a little tighter story. Still, 12-point game isn't a blowout by any means, but definitely a good TCU team that we'll probably see back in the tournament this year come March.
Oh, most definitely. And I think we just had some amazing performances from both sides. As you had mentioned, TCU now 3-1 this season, their first defeat of the season. And Michigan, I think this is a big win for them. This is something that the program really wanted to see, and this really establishes them as a contender this season. This is the point at which people are seeing, okay, they can beat some big teams, they can make some big plays, and that's what they've done.
Absolutely. The definitive win over Cleveland State was great, but with all due respect, it's Cleveland State. And then when you lose to Wake Forest, it's a little disappointing. You're like, all right, if we're playing this level of talent every night, how are we going to do? I think this proved they're going to hold up just fine. In Big Ten play, they're going to do absolutely tremendous. I'm not saying they're going to run the conference, but they're definitely going to be competitive night in and night out, whether it's here or on the road. Definitely a competitive team that we're going to hear a lot of this year.
Most definitely. Great things ahead for both sides. And what a pleasure to be here at Chrysler in Ann Arbor for this men's basketball matchup.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us here on WCBN. Final score tonight from Chrysler Center, 76-64. Michigan wins over TCU. I've been Zachary Warshaw alongside Matthew Peel. Thank you for listening, and we're going to leave you, as always, with a good night and a Go Blue.
Go Blue.